They're going to let the clock roll, and now Michigan is saying, all right, let's go home. That's enough of this nonsense. And they let the crowd go, and they'll just let the clock tick away, and the football game is over. And the Ohio State Buckeyes have defeated the Michigan Wolverines by a score of 31-16. And it's been
#1 in the country. Hello, everyone. I'm Terry Gannon, along with Tim Brandt. You couldn't ask for a better day. You couldn't ask for a better atmosphere.
Sellout crowd, Terry. Everybody just going crazy. Welcome the team when they came in. It was deafening in here. Certainly everybody in this stadium expecting something big today.
Anger after last week's loss against Texas A&M. Jubilation for Kansas State. As you look at the North Division of the Big 12, Kansas State has that wrapped up. They will play in the Dr. Pepper Big 12 championship game here on ABC Sports against Texas A&M on December 5th. But still a whole lot to play for the Missouri Tigers today.
Well, and the Missouri Tigers really believe that this will be the best team that Kansas State has faced all year. This is a team that has led at halftime all year long. It's a team that has been very successful until the end of their 3 losses. But I'm telling you, this is a team that has just been outstanding, and they believe this is the best team that Kansas State will see all year.
An incredible atmosphere, too. All week long, people have wanted to get into Faurot Field. They haven't been able to. It has been sold out, and better than 68,000 are on hand for Senior Day.
This is ABC Sports, home of the Bowl Championship Series and the National Championship game.
Seniors Devin West and Corby Jones leading the Missouri Tigers onto the field, looking to upset #1, Kansas State. Last week, Kansas State expunged 3 decades of disappointment with a win over their old nemesis, Nebraska. A jubilant Bill Snyder enjoyed the most emotional celebration in Wildcat history. Now, a dangerous Missouri team awaits, having taken the last top-ranked team to visit Columbia to the brink of defeat. #1 is tested again next on ABC Sports. For the first time ever, Faurot Field in Columbia, Missouri, sold out days in advance for this one. Better than 68,000 on hand to watch the #1 Kansas State Wildcats be tested today by the Missouri Tigers, their arch rival. Hello and welcome, everyone. I'm Terry Gannon. You know what's at stake? So does Kansas State. They came off an emotional win last week against Nebraska, but they know this will be difficult in Columbia today. Of course, a shot at the national championship on the line. Missouri has lost 3 times to top 10 teams, and Tim Brandt, Missouri believes that they are the best team that Kansas State will face all year.
And you know what, Terry? They are talented. No question about that. I want you to look to see if Kansas State is focused and sharp early in this ball game. Keep in mind, it's only been 7 days since the miracle in Manhattan when Nebraska got them. Went down in defeat there in Manhattan. And it was one of those games that Kansas State was just emotionally drained. Look to see if they're sharp today. Missouri believes they can win. Missouri believes that they can pull the upset. This is the best team that Kansas State has faced all year. And everybody in the stands believes the same thing. They're looking for an upset today.
And it will be an emotional day for the Missouri seniors. Their last home game. Quarterback Corby Jones will be thinking of his father. He told us all day long. Curtis, a former assistant coach, passed away this last summer. Corby Jones would love to lead the Tigers in his biggest win ever here at home. He'd love to leave Columbia going out on top over #1. The Tigers and the Wildcats are next. Temperatures in the mid-50s here in Columbia, Missouri. Faurot Field sold out. Better than 68,000. #1 Kansas State. You know about the turnaround that Bill Snyder has engineered in Manhattan. It is nothing short of remarkable. And right now, the second longest winning streak right behind UCLA in college football. And on the other side of the football field, Tim Brandt, truly remarkable from Larry Smith, too, what he's been able to do in his 5th season at Missouri.
Terry, he gets the credit for last year's breakthrough at Missouri, taking a program that was down, building it into the nationally ranked club that it is. He did the same thing at other places he's been, Tulane and Arizona, USC. But look at this. Michael Bishop in the year he's having. He is fantastic. Heisman Trophy candidate. He is a phenomenal athlete, great runner, strong arm. He's just grown up mentally, too, understands the game. And then, of course, for Missouri, there's Corby Jones. You mentioned a little bit about the emotional roller coaster that he's been on. And he has not had the year because of that he's had in the past. But I'll tell you this, he's finally healthy. His sprained toe is back, and he is going to be dangerous today.
The biggest difference between those two teams may be on special teams. Kansas State first in net punting, first in punt returns. Missouri 69th and 95th. And in returns, Kansas State one of the best in the country.
And look at the field goals, only 2 of 5 for Mizzou. They haven't tried many, haven't made many, and every time they get down in that red zone or scoring zone today, watch it. They'll go for 3rd and 4th down rather than kick a field goal.
Martin Gramatica, maybe the best kicker in the country, won the Grozo Award last year, one of the 3 finalists this year. Kansas State won the toss, deferring to the second half. And so the Tigers will be on offense first. Gramatica, as he normally does, all the way through the end zone. And they'll bring it out to the 20 for the first set of downs for the Missouri Tigers. The Chili starting lineups, the offensive line for Missouri, a veteran group playing very well. Cliff Smith had a bad knee. He is back now starting, a veteran side of that line. And then you've got Kent Lehman, the #1 receiver, but John Dossman with great speed. He is the deep threat. Stubbe, the tight end. Corby Jones leads a backfield with Sean Benton leading Devin West, who needs 136 yards today to be the all-time leading rusher in Missouri history.
And Missouri needs some early success in this ball game if they're going to pull off an upset today against Kansas State.
1st and 10 from the 20. Jones under center as they operate out of the eye. Option, he wants to throw. No one open. Howard wraps him up at the 10. Darren Howard, the junior out of St. Petersburg, Florida, with a sack setting the tone for this Wildcat defense. And the defensive front, this is the #2 defense in the nation. Devane Robinson, we'll see a lot of him for the injured Andre Rowe. He is out with a foot sprain. We'll see a lot of Monty Beisel, too. The best core of linebackers in the country. You know all about them. Travis Oaks back after a torn oblique muscle. And Gerald Niesman back as well. He's been out 4 weeks with a deep thigh bruise.
Talked about Missouri needing early success, and they lose 10 yards, not the kind of start the Tigers wanted.
So it's 2nd and 19. Devin West straight ahead. Tough running across the 15 to the 16-yard line, maybe. Damian McIntosh on the tackle.
You know, West is truly one of the best running backs in the nation, 1,538 yards. But more important than that is he averages 6 yards every time he touches the football. He's averaged 152 yards a game, and this is a guy that has to be a big factor here today. He's 6'2", 225 pounds. They're going to be pounding him a lot today. He's got to stand up to the punishment like he has all year, and he's got to come up big for them.
1,515 yards, the most in a single season by a Missouri back. 3rd and 15. Quick drop, looking to throw. Got a man out to the 29. Close to a first down, but I'm not sure. We'll wait and see where they mark it. Kent Lehman made the catch. The leading receiver for Missouri.
Just about a yard short. Did not get the first, but it's a big play. Gets him out of a hole. At least saves him field position. Take another look at this. It's just a slant. The ball is well thrown. Now watch where he goes down. See where his knee touches. See, just about a yard short of the line. They have to get up to the 30 for the first down. They're just over the 29.
Less than a yard, and Larry Smith is going to go for it. Wow. This is what they have done on 4th down.
Maybe try to pull them off sides. I'm not sure I'd go for it. This is a dangerous call this early.
Sean Benton, Devin West. Jones straight ahead. Did he get there? Missouri thinks so.
Boy, he's getting a mark across that 30. That's a first down. Gutsy call. Larry Smith going after it early. You've got to believe that's a call of a gambler there. Take a look at this. They have to get across the 30. Good push from the line. Now watch. You get a push from behind from Devin West. He pushes ahead Jones, and just enough for the first. Wow.
Well, Jerry Burnt, the offensive coordinator, and Larry Smith told us, as they have done all year, they're going to take some chances on 4th down because the special teams is really a place where they suffer. But when you're in your own territory on the first drive, that's a gamble.
You can take chances, but you better have field position.
Jones wrapped up, falls ahead to the 22. Monty Beisel, the defensive end out of Douglas, Kansas, getting playing time early today because Andre Rowe is injured. Darren Howard moving inside.
Terry, I'll tell you this. Missouri has already sent a message to Bill Snyder of Kansas State. He said, I don't care what happens today. We're out to beat you. We're going to pull out all stops. We're going to gamble. We're going to take our shots. We're going to do things unconventionally. We're going to break tendencies. He just sent that message by going for it inside the 30 on 4th down.
2nd and 9. Quick drop again for Corby Jones. Throwing the fade pattern to Dossman, who makes the catch but out of bounds. Incomplete. Demetrius Butler, the cornerback and a redshirt freshman. Good coverage. Larry Smith thought maybe a little too good.
Well, the Missouri coaches obviously thought he had 1 foot in bounds. That's all you need. You be the judge. Here is the pass. You wait and see if he had that foot down. It looked like the toe touched in bounds to me, but awfully close. The lineman was right on it. The linesman, he made the call, and he had a better angle than we had. So that shoe must have been touching the white of the out-of-bounds line.
Yeah, by the angle we had, is awfully tough to tell whether the foot was on the line or not.
Well, it looked good from our angle, but it wasn't a good angle to make the call. The linesman was right on it.
So another key 3rd down. Dossman in motion, going to come back to this side. Movement, and then Kansas State crosses. They think they were pulled offside. But the Tigers celebrating as well, so we'll have to wait and see.
Dead ball. Offside. Defense.
It was Darren Howard that jumped, and it was Cliff Smith. Cliff Smith is a guy who knows he did not move. Watch the top of your screen up here. They're looking at Cliff Smith, and so Howard comes across.
So it brings up 3rd and almost 4 after the 5-yard penalty. A couple of penalties last week and mistakes. The fumbles by Michael Bishop certainly hurt Bill Snyder, but they pull it out in the end. Dossman in motion again. Devin West, a hole over the right side. He's got the 1st down for Missouri. Tripped up by Demetrius Butler, but they'll move the chains.
Kansas State was looking for a pass, and they came and just opened up the big hole, and West took advantage of it. Last week, 113 yards, off to a good start here. Get some good blocking up front, pull the guard, get out in front. Fullback gets there as West, Rob West. He gets a block, and Devin picks up another 1st down. Well executed, and once again, Missouri breaking tendency.
1st and 10, Rob West. Now the fullback ahead of Devin West. Option to the near side. Jones fakes the pitch, keeps it, but nowhere to go. Damian McIntosh and Joe Bob Clemens wrapped him up just as soon as he crossed the line of scrimmage.
So far, Terry, it's been all Corby Jones and Devin West. Of course, there was 1 completion, but if you look at these numbers and see what they've done in their career here at Missouri, 65 rushing touchdowns between them, 5,300 yards. That's huge for 2 guys. And this year has been outstanding as well. This year they've got 27 touchdowns. Very, very productive battery between Jones and West.
Roommates, very close friends.
Call themselves Kevin and Kirby rather than Devin and Corby.
9th play of the drive for Missouri. The opening drive of the ball game. Jones walks one out there incomplete. A dangerous pass. He had Rob West coming out of the backfield, but the secondary, and I believe it was Butler who came up and had a chance to pick it off.
Only because it was poorly thrown. Rob West was wide open, and Corby Jones knows that he missed it. He tried to take some off of it. He tried to put a little air under it, but the adrenaline flow right now is such. It's Corby Jones' last game in this stadium. Everything that you mentioned, it's all been well documented. There is so much emotion wrapped up in that package today in the body of Corby Jones. It was difficult for him just to throw the little dink pass underneath.
And Larry Smith told us they would watch him early to make sure that his emotions were in check. 3rd down again. Jones steps up, has a lane, but closes quickly. From behind, Monty Beisel ran him down. And I believe it was Mark Semino who flushed him out of the pocket initially.
And this is going to be too far to go for it on 4th. I mean, they need 6 yards, almost 7, so they're going to punt it. And they should be able to, with a good punt here, back Kansas State up.
David Allen and Lamar Chapman back deep awaiting Vince Sebo's punt.
Terry, as things have gone, if you're playing defense now, you've got to be watching for the fake, too.
Got to watch for all of it, I think, today from Missouri. Sebo punts it away, though. Allen, who is dangerous running back punts. Breaks the tackle and ahead to the 38-yard line. Probably should have been wrapped up right away, but David Allen returns at 18 yards after a 33-yard punt from Sebo. Well, Friday live at 11 a.m. Eastern, 8 a.m. Pacific here on ABC Sports, a college football doubleheader. Number 7 Texas A&M taking on Ricky Williams and the Longhorns of Texas. And then the Colorado Buffaloes visit Eric Crouch and number 19 Nebraska. Make sure you call your cable or satellite company for games available on pay-per-view as well. Big Thanksgiving weekend here on ABC. Out of the shotgun on first down, Michael Bishop may have gained a yard, but then he paid for it. And the chilly starting lineups for Kansas State. This offensive line, a huge Ryan Young leading the way, an NFL prospect, no doubt about it. They've only allowed 11 sacks in 10 games. At the wideout spot, Darnell McDonald, the leading receiver in the Big 12, 63 catches on the year, and there's the backfield. Frank Murphy in there for an injured Eric Hickson. A high ankle sprain has kept him out, but he was on the field before the game warming up. Incomplete to Darnell McDonald near the first down marker. And the defense that Michael Bishop and the Wildcats will face today. The defensive front, Justin Wyatt, the leader, a 3-year starter, but Justin Smith, a great freshman. They call him Godzilla already. The linebackers led by Barry Odom. He is really the heart of this defense. Great speed in Marquis Gibson and an experienced secondary. Piercy, the leading tackler. Wade Perkins has 6 interceptions. 3rd and 9 out of the shotgun. Bishop rifles one right to McDonald. A first down and more to the 45, maybe the 44 of Missouri. And you get a look at the arm of Michael Bishop.
Tell you this, Missouri came with a blitz. They showed an 8-man front. They had pretty good coverage. That ball was just well thrown, and Bishop hung in there as long as he could. Had guys flying around his feet. He still stayed in the pocket and drilled it. Watch this. You're coming off the corner. Here comes the pressure. Now you've got 3 guys flooding the zone, so he goes underneath. Look, here it is right here. He goes under the safety, over the cornerback. The ball is well thrown, and it's a great catch by McDonald. But look at him. He just hangs in the pocket. Guys flying around him. He knows he's going to get hit. Gibson takes him down. He still throws a strike.
Kevin Parise in motion. There goes Marlon Charles, who bounces outside to the 41-yard line of Missouri.
Folks, you are looking at the #1 scoring offense in the nation, Kansas State. Keep in mind, Eric Hickson is not in the ball game. He got injured and has that bad knee. So Brian Goolsby, Marlon Charles, Frank Murphy, you see that they really have not been very productive. As a matter of fact, only 7 carries between them. That's it.
Last week against Nebraska, so not productive. And Murphy, you remember, had the fumble that was returned 70-some yards for a touchdown.
So you take Hickson out, there's almost 890 yards. The rest of them don't have much.
They're going to whistle this one dead.
I don't think they got that play off in time.
Dead ball. Delay of game. Offense. 5 yards. Repeat second down.
John Laurie, our referee, and his crew. Bill Snyder not happy about that. Mistakes last week by Michael Bishop, but also huge numbers.
Yeah, and look at these. I mean, you can talk about the fumbles all you want, and he lost 3 of those. But look at the passing yards, the rushing yards, and the touchdown production. The guy does one thing. He wins all the time. In his entire career, only 1 loss, and that was against Nebraska. I'm telling you, folks, this guy is as good as they come.
2 junior college national championships, maybe a Division I national championship this year. But they have to get by the Tigers today. This one almost picked off, and now a flag comes in late from the back judge.
Yeah, and this is going to be interference against Wade Perkins. He was actually holding him up. And it is against Perkins. So it'll be a 15-yard pickup for Kansas State.
Pass interference. Defense. First down.
Tim, that's one thing they cannot afford to do today.
No, but if you watch this, you'll see Perkins actually kind of gets Lockett and actually holds him. All right, here he is up here. Look at that. See the contact? He's all over him and then almost makes the pick, but that's after the fact. He mugged him. Good call.
That man would not agree with you. But he certainly was not allowed to run his route. Michael Bishop changing the play at the line of scrimmage. It'll be tough today with this crowd. Scrambling. Turning back. Bishop at his most dangerous. Throws on the run and almost picked off. Carlos Posey, the junior out of Baton Rouge, had a shot at it.
Boy, I tell you, Terry, that ball should have been picked off. It hit him right in the number 5. Bishop is so dangerous with all his creativity, and what happens is when he gets around the corner like that, if you're a secondary guy, defensive back, you pretty much leave your guy coming up for the run. But he had good coverage, stayed with him. Look at this. Stays with him everywhere he goes. Lockett now makes an adjustment when he sees Bishop scrambling. Now watch, he'll come back for the ball, but watch number 5. See, there's Posey. Now watch, comes up, the ball hit him right to number 5, should have had the interception.
And he knew it.
Good job, though.
So it's 2nd and 10. Quick drop, quick throw. McDonough almost got away, but he gets down to the 15-yard line. Wade Perkins on the coverage and the tackle, and a gain of 16.
Not a good sign for the Missouri defense. Right now, Kansas State moving rather easily right down the field. Kansas State does not want to go away from Bishop. I mean, you can have McDonald get involved in the game and Lockett and get involved in the game, and you saw the running backs and the little bit of productivity they've had. But this game really rests on the shoulders right now of Michael Bishop.
Bill Snyder has defeated Larry Smith 4 times. The Wildcats have won 5 in a row in this series. Marlon Charles gets the call straight ahead and then wrapped up at the 12, pushed back to the 13. Charles, the senior out of Kansas City.
Well, I tell you what, Barnett, Hanley, Cummins, Martin, Young, that big offensive line gives a great big hole. Watch this. He comes through. Now it's up to the secondary. You see number 2 Piercy comes up and he makes the stop out of a safety spot. He makes a lot of tackles back there. But up front, that offensive line for Kansas State does a great job.
8th play of the drive. Option to the near. Bishop away from 1, hit and down to the 6. Needs to get to the 5 for a first down. Harold Piercy, who you just mentioned, the leading tackler on this team, he made the stop.
Well, they like to use that free safety almost like a linebacker. They'll bring in the free safety. They'll move him up in the line. They'll hide him what they call banjo coverage. But number 2 is a short tackler. Look at this. He's all by himself. He misses this tackle. It's a touchdown. Put his head down. He's got to keep the head up. He's got to get the tail lower, but he made the stop. Big 3rd down play here.
3rd and 1, and Kansas State wants to talk it over. It is a big play. So 5:46 left here in the first quarter. Michael Bishop going to change his equipment. Kansas State on a drive just outside of the 5-yard line. That's where they have to get for a first down. It is 3rd and a long one right now. Goolsby and Charles, the backfield, out of the eye. Goolsby, the fullback, fighting his way down to the 5. It looked like he got there initially. Al Sterling lost a helmet.
No, but we were talking about the offensive line of Kansas State doing a great job that time. I thought defensively, Missouri did a nice job of stepping up and negating it. Watch the push by the black jerseys. They negate the white jerseys, negate them. They come up. And look at the fill. Everybody starts to hit number 30. Sterling gets there first, and Goolsby, he's close and got the first down, but it was a good pursuit angle by a lot of the guys in the linebacker area, in the secondary, and the defensive line of the defense.
Look what Kansas State has done. They've been in the red zone more than any other team in college football and been very effective. The pitch back to Charles, nowhere to go. Swarmed under at the 10-yard line. Justin Smith, the freshman, got there first. And Wade Perkins helped him out immediately.
Terry, we talked about pursuit just a minute ago. They strung the play out, played it soft, and let Bishop go as long as he could. Then once he pitched it, then everybody ran to the football. Watch 96. 96 kind of strings it out, gets to Bishop. Now here comes Piercy again, number 2. There's 96 Smith. Guys are pursuing the football. Here comes Odom, 39. All the black jerseys running to the football, and then make a nice defensive play and throw Kansas State for a loss.
Justin Smith having a great year in his first campaign here in Columbia. Michael Bishop out of the shotgun. 3 receivers to the far side. Bishop on the run. Throws to the corner of the end zone. Touchdown. Gavin Parise with the catch. Created by Michael Bishop.
Well, Gibson had him. Gibson came off the corner and was ready to throw him for a sack, and Bishop just threw Gibson off, scrambled, and make the perfect throw. Wow.
He is an entire offense in himself. Look at what he's done in it. At least a touchdown in 21 of 23 games. And the opening touchdown today. Gramatica on for the extra point, and it is good. So Parise with his third touchdown catch of the season, but it was created by the scrambling abilities of Michael Bishop. A Bishop no longer. He deserves to be a Cardinal. Yep, there are folks everywhere today. Sitting on the hill, 68,000 plus, and they watch Michael Bishop create another touchdown drive.
That's the difference between winning and losing right there. Gibson makes that tackle. There's no touchdown, but Bishop breaks it, scrambles, and scores.
So it is 7-0 Kansas State. Ricardo Rhodes and Julian Jones back deep at their own goal line. Martin Gramatica this time keeps it in play. 2 yards deep. Julian Jones going to bring it out. Cut down at the 17, and there is a flag out at the 30. Milton Proctor, the backup strong safety, with a big hit. But we'll see what the flag is all about.
I think they're going to call Pat Duffy for holding.
It is a hold, so Missouri will be backed up even deeper. Well, ABC Sports presentation of college football brought to you by
Crowd has gotten awfully quiet here. This place has been rocking all morning. Everybody talking strictly upset, convinced that Missouri is going to win. And now Kansas State comes in, stops Missouri, gets the ball, and just jams it down their throat, scores 7-0, and all of a sudden it's very, very quiet in here.
Well, it's my belief throughout the season, all the games that we have done, I have not seen a better team than Kansas State. What Missouri counts on, not only Corby Jones and Devin West, but the fact that Kansas State coming off that emotional win over Nebraska last week, maybe a letdown. Not true so far. Jones ahead to the 10.
Great job by Jared Cooper to come up, make a tackle out of the secondary.
Cooper, the sophomore out of Pearland, Texas. He of the dyed blonde hair. Might be flamboyant, but a solid football player. Good speed.
Look at the
number. Chapman, good safeties.
Look at the number of tackles he has and the pass breakups. He really is all over the field. They bring him a lot on the blitz, too.
2nd and 8. And Corby Jones calls the timeout. So he will talk things over with Larry Smith. They'll try to figure out some way of getting out of their own territory, moving the football downfield when we return. The Missouri faithful. Tigers down 7-0 here in Columbia. It has been a long time since Missouri has beaten a top 10 team. They've lost to 3 of them this year. Last time was 34 games ago, back in 1981.
But not so for that man. Larry Smith has 12 wins over top 10 teams since 1980, including in 81 when his Arizona team beat then #1 ranked USC. He's not afraid of the big boys, and he can beat them.
Missouri has never beaten a #1 team. 0 for 9. Play action. Jones wants it all. Deep over the middle of the field. Incomplete. Broken up by Butler as John Dossman, who has great speed, almost had a step.
Almost looked like he got his hand caught in the face mask. It was, the ball was sitting there between the defender and receiver Dossman for what seemed like 4 steps. This ball's well thrown. He had pressure coming from the backside too. Watch the right of your screen. You can see the pressure. He gets hit as soon as he releases it. But look, the ball's up, ball's up, ball's up, and now finally down. That's how close this thing was. Great defensive play. Dossman has it there, but then it's just kind of knocked away. Boy, that is nicely done by Butler. The very last second just to tip it away.
Travis Oaks just drilled Corby Jones after he let it go. Jones on the scramble up the middle of the field, across the 20 to the 22-yard line, and a first down before Travis Oaks could trip him up there. Oaks coming off the torn oblique muscle that kept him out for much of the last 3 games. His brother, of course, a star at Kansas State as well, and one of the 3 members of this linebacker corps that certainly is the best in the country.
Terry, that's 3 first downs from Missouri, but you have the feeling that they've really struggled for every one. Nothing is coming easily for the Tigers this afternoon.
1st and 10, just outside the 22. McIntosh jumped across for Kansas State. Maybe a free play as Devin West goes right into the line.
Well, we saw Howard do that earlier. Now McIntosh across. We'll see if he's drawn. But again, Missouri feels confident that he wasn't. And it is against Kansas State. Right now, Missouri showing a lot of discipline on that line.
Offside. Defense. 5-yard penalty. 1st and 5.
Well, next Saturday at 4:30 Eastern here on ABC Sports, the Skins game from Rancho La Quinta Country Club in California.
Because of that penalty, Terry, it gives Missouri a great opportunity here. 1st down and 5.
Twins to the far side, double tight end set. Here comes the option. The pitch to Devin West, who turns the corner and runs out of bounds, but he got a first down. Up at the 34-yard line.
You know, the key to that option is Corby Jones. He's got to read whether he's going to keep it or whether he's going to pitch it. This time he waits until the very end. What it does, of course, it doesn't give West much room to grow. But watch this. There it is. Gets it outside. Now, there's not a whole lot of room to turn up, but there is enough. He keeps his balance to get the first. But it was a well-read play by Corby Jones. Waited to the last second and gave him the perfect pitch.
He made Jared Cooper, the strong safety, commit at the last moment. Sean Benton now in at fullback ahead of West. There goes Devin straight up the middle to the 40-yard line. A good gain on first down.
I'll tell you this, if they can continue to pound like that, they can be successful. They'll shorten the game, they'll eat up the clock, and they're gaining yardage all of a sudden. Again, they took this right at Semino. Watch number 42. Boom, gets head-on block right there by the fullback, and that's Benton, who gave a nice block for West. If they continue to do that, they continue to pound, they'll break down Semino and Kelly and Oaks in that linebacker spot.
Haven't been many that have been able to do that this year, I'll tell you that.
No, but Benton is 240 pounds. He delivered a great block on the linebacker.
Kent Lehman in motion to the near side. Now he turns around and goes away. Jones off a play action. Throws. Kareem Wise incomplete. Wise was well covered, and his crowd thought maybe the coverage was too good. Jared Cooper went up top.
You know, we talked about Cooper before. They bring him on blitzes. They bring him up on runs. He also is a great cover guy. We saw him earlier in this year. He was all over the field. This time the crowd wanted pass interference, but he came over top. He's got as much right to the football as long as there's not contact. Well, let's see if there is. Here's the pass. He may have gotten there just a speck early, but the official's right on top of him. And then, of course, Corby Jones continues to be tagged. Every time he's throwing the ball or running the ball, he's being hit.
That was Chris Johnson who hit him. The number's not what Corby had hoped for this early. 3rd and 5. Swing pass. West away from one, but not two. Joe Bob Clemens had him first, and Jeff Kelly made sure he stayed there. Well defensed by Kansas State. They read that from the start.
This defense is aggressive. It's confident. It's just simply tough to play against. Every guy on there runs to the football well. Not only strong, but fast. It's one of the fastest defenses I think I've ever seen.
So Vince Sebo on for his second punt of the afternoon. David Allen, Lamar Chapman back deep. They stand at their own 30-yard line. Look at what Allen has done. 4 returns for touchdowns. Tied an NCAA record. Bobbled by Sebo at first. And this is not a good punt at all. Takes a Kansas State bounce, and this is out at the 44-yard line. A 22-yard effort. That's it for Sebo. Well, Solomon Smith field. Missouri trailed by 3 points on 4th down at the Wildcat 3-yard line. They decided against the tying field goal. Quarterback Jeff Handy's pass knocked down by Kansas State freshman Chris Canty, reserving a 21-18 Wildcat victory. The first meeting between Bill Snyder and Larry Smith. Snyder has won all 4 contests in the last 3 decidedly. Bishop hands it to Marlon Charles, has room over the right side, gets up to midfield. So it's Charles the senior who has probably played a lot last week for the injured Eric Hickson after Murphy fumbled, and he's had a productive career. Maybe not what he wanted, but certainly has been a solid part of this offense.
Like the old counter Trey, they get Swift out there. He's 250 pounds, Young at 330, Martin at 305. Bring him around the corner, give him a running start, just let him go after those black jerseys, start knocking them out of the way. Tough play to stop.
Charles, the number 2 rusher a couple of years ago for the Wildcats, was injured last year. That slowed him up. Getting an opportunity late in this season now. His numbers today. There goes Marlon over the right side, trying to get outside. Cross midfield, maybe to the 48. And let's go to our New York studios right now and check in with John Saunders. John?
Terry, on this Burger King update, Wisconsin needs the victory. They pick it up. They go to the Rose Bowl. Mike Samuel here going deep, 26 yards to Chris Chambers. Terrific catch in the end zone. 14-0 is the score there. And Florida State both on the board now. The Gators with a 7-3 lead. Terry.
John, thank you. Rivalry week. What a great weekend of college football, including this one. Michael Bishop runs for the first down, still on his feet, spins, finally brought down at the 39-yard line. Cauldron off Easter. The strong safety brought him down, but he had a lot of help.
That's the end of the first quarter, and it has been totally dominated by Kansas State.
So Bishop leading the Wildcats early. They lead in this one. We're back to Columbia after this message and a word from our ABC stations.
This is
been all
ABC
Kansas State
Sports,
so far as we open up the
Bowl Championship Series.
Lost it, but got it back, so it brings up 2nd and maybe 11. He may have lost one, but this is a critical time in the ball game, I think, even though it's early, Tim, for Missouri.
And I think Missouri feels it. I think everybody in the stadium can feel it, that right now Kansas State has had its way since this game began. And if this defense doesn't make something happen here in a hurry, this game's going to get away from them.
3 receivers to the near side, and Michael Bishop out of the shotgun. Plenty of time, too much time for him. This one broken up. Wade Perkins had another chance at an interception, and here's another flag in the secondary.
And it is a late flag, too. And this crowd, which wanted Cooper of Kansas State, called for interference earlier, now sees a flag go down, and it looks like it's going to be the 2nd interference call against the Tigers.
The ball was tipped. No foul. 3rd down.
So the ball was tipped at the line of scrimmage, which means they can have all the contact they want.
Free ball.
Take a look at this. Here's Piercy, number 2, bottom of your screen. See how he reached out? They didn't like that call. And now here it comes here. See the right hand?
That ball was tipped in the secondary by Perkins, I believe is what they're saying, because it wasn't tipped at the line.
No, that's right.
So 3rd and 11 for Michael Bishop and the Wildcats. Been perfect so far on 3rd down. Going deep and rocket touchdown. Just like that. But there is a flag on the play. And it's back near the line of scrimmage, so hold on.
Ineligible receiver downfield on the offense.
Coming back.
Break for Missouri. Wow. Talk about serving notice to the secondary. Looked like they were in a cover 2. Cornerback tried to give him up to the safety. Nobody picked him up, and he was just wide open deep.
Yeah, nothing complicated. Lockett just ran by the
He was covered
DBs.
up on the play. 5-yard penalty. Repeat the 3rd down.
That's a huge break for Missouri. They get away with one. It also moves Kansas State back to the 45-yard line and beyond, so it'll be 3rd down and more than 15.
And Larry Smith's club trying to work things out in their secondary. Cauldron off Easter just came off the field, and the coaches rather demonstrative in talking to him about what just happened. Julian Jones has gone in at the safety spot. 3rd and 16. Bishop on the run, throws deep. McDonald at the goal line, broken up. Perkins got a hand on it.
Yeah, but he's lucky to, because McDonald was behind him again, and I don't know how that happens when they're in zone coverage. They were in zone coverage, and somehow McDonald still was way behind him. Watch this. All right, they're in zone, so nobody's going to take him man. See, he breaks inside out. He's already gone. Now the zone's trying to catch up to him. Safety never does get over. And then as Perkins reads it, he gets up just in enough time to really discombobulate McDonald a little bit, because the ball still hit him.
Yeah, he still could have made the catch, sure. Having all kinds of problems in the secondary. Of course, that's what Michael Bishop does to you with his running ability. You don't
Offense.
know whether to come up and play him or stay deep. And now a delay of game penalty against Kansas State to give Garcia some room.
Boy, you don't see Garcia very much. He's got a 50-yard average, but he doesn't come out
Delay of game.
very much.
Offense. The penalty is declined.
Yeah, he's only had, what, 25
down.
punts all year.
Yeah, and he's averaging, what, I'm being facetious, but 45 yards a punt.
Yeah. There's Artie Johnson, who was in for Randy Potter, who was the return man last week, and made a couple of mistakes, misjudgments that may have cost them the game. In fact, it did late in the game when he fumbled a punt.
Well, he knows he's got a strong-legged punter here, and if it's inside the 10, you just want to let it go. He ought to fair catch it.
Penalty marker down, and Johnson just smashed by Jared Cooper, and there's another flag.
Did not give him the 2 yards to make the catch, and this will be against Kansas State as well.
Welcome to the punt return team, Artie Johnson.
As soon as he makes contact with this ball, the hit takes place.
Multiple penalties on the offense. 2 penalties. Illegal formation. 6 men on the line of scrimmage. Also kick catch interference, which is 5-yard penalty.
But Kansas State just making a lot of mistakes right now and keeping Missouri in the ball game.
Yeah, Bill Snyder's club had a couple of chances. In fact, Lockett with the touchdown catch that was brought back. And now there'll be much better field position for Missouri after they sort out this penalty.
You know, Missouri right now has got to be thinking special teams can kill us. It killed them last week against Texas A&M. They had
Illegal
more first downs, more yardage.
Offense. Penalty is declined. Kick catch interference, 5 yards from the spot of the foul. First down, Missouri. Timeout.
So they take the second penalty
field.
and move it up 5 yards, and Missouri will have it at the 26-yard line to start their next drive when we come back. The defense did its job for Missouri. They had a couple of breaks from Kansas State, but it's still 7-0. And the Tigers fortunate just to be down 7, and it's up to their seniors, the roommates on offense, Corby Jones and Devin West now.
Well, I think they have to settle down. This has not been a Missouri ball game. It doesn't seem like they're into the rhythm. They're into the flow. They really are not playing like they have been playing. They've had some problems, and you're right. Kansas State has given them some breaks and given them an opportunity. And so instead of scoring a touchdown and going down 14-0, Kansas State brings it back, and now it's not bad field position for Missouri.
First down at the 26. Straight drop. Flushed out is Jones on the run. He can run across the 30 to the 32-yard line. You know how dangerous Michael Bishop is. Of course, Corby Jones, the same type of runner. He can break things open.
Well, he sprained his toe, and that's finally better. He's been great the last 2 weeks, 37 carries, almost 200 yards, and he won't hesitate. I mean, right now he sees there's a lane, there's an alley, he sees guys coverage, and so he knows he'll be able to pick up 5, 6, 7 yards in that alley. He does it. He's very decisive, and as you said, he can run. He's very talented.
Number 4 rusher in history here. In fact, he only needs 4 points today to be the all-time leading scorer in Missouri history. West wrapped up behind the line of scrimmage.
Boy, nicely done by Darren Howard. Came off the corner in great pursuit.
Howard with 9.5 sacks this year. He had 11 last year. Number 3 on the career list for Kansas State. And he and Joe Bob Clemens on the corners of that defensive front. At the ends, they put a lot of pressure on the quarterback and funnel everything inside of those linebackers.
Well, Howard played at 245 last year. He's now 270. 9.5 sacks and 13 tackles for losses, and that's one of them.
Yep. Here come the linebackers after Jones this time. And down he goes. At the 28, Travis Oakes got there. You could see him coming.
Right now, Kansas State looks bigger, looks faster, and looks more dominant.
That's because they are.
You're right.
And a new punter, that's Jared Gilpin on David Allen back deep. Vince Sebo with a 22-yard effort the last time. So Larry Smith, who made all kinds of changes or wanted to this week in special teams, now changes the punter. Line drive punt. Allen bobbles at his 32. And brought down up at the 37-yard line. Not much of a chance for David Allen to bring this one back. A 39-yard punt on the one hop and a 5-yard return. Kansas State still up by a touchdown. Mom and Dad, this is what the college education has done for me.
Hey, this is new. This is something they're doing here in Missouri. You got to like this. They're copying the Cameron Crazies, the guys at Duke who go crazy during ball games. They're trying to do that and put spirit back here in Missouri.
Yeah, but it's 95 degrees in Cameron.
I understand
it's not out here. Well, right now, time for the Aflac Trivia question. This week's questions: who are the 4 coaches to take 4 different teams to bowl games? Well, I know a couple of them. Give you that answer in a few moments. Aaron Lockett in motion. Michael Bishop wants to throw. Incomplete. He was going for his tight end. That was Justin Swift. Out near the 40-yard line of Missouri, well covered by Easter.
You know, they say pound for pound, Easter is one of the strongest players in Missouri football history. In the history of the school. Now, he's only 5'10", 188 pounds, but say he is just a monster in the weight room.
Take it with a grain of salt. When I played basketball at North Carolina State, I was the strongest man on the team pound for pound.
Yeah, but that's basketball.
And I'm no Lou Ferrigno. I got to tell you, partner.
I've seen your body.
That pound for pound thing.
That's a scary thought.
Bishop, short drop over the middle. He's got Aaron Lockett, who sidesteps one across midfield to the 49 into Missouri territory before Harold Piercy can wrap him up. And he is quick. His brother Kevin, of course, a star at Kansas State and with the Chiefs. And a gain of 14.
Boy, he had a big game last week, too, didn't he? 6 receptions against Nebraska. Watch this, though. I mean, he's going up against a freshman. Makes the catch. Now, look, here's 51. Jamani Robinson, who's just a freshman, one of the fastest guys on the defense, but he overran the play, didn't have any balance, couldn't make the tackle, and then you're just giving Lockett plenty of room to run. You don't want to do that. Got to break down and make that hit.
Lockett already with a touchdown catch today, but it was brought back because of a penalty. He just ran by the secondary, and now
delay a game
again. Too much time.
Red ball, delay a game. Offense, 5 yards, repeat first down.
That is 6 penalties against Kansas State already in this ball game.
Now tomorrow night, live at 8:15 Eastern on ESPN, Sunday Night Football. Kerry Collins leads New Orleans against Jerry Rice and the 49ers. Then on Monday night here on ABC Sports, Monday Night Football live at 8 Eastern. Dan Marino leads the Miami Dolphins against the New England Patriots on Monday Night Football. Bishop, straight drop with time over the middle. Got a man wide open. That's McDonald down to the 41-yard line. His third catch, excuse me, of the afternoon.
Now the problem is they aren't getting any pressure on Bishop. He's got too much time to throw. They flooded an area, but there was nobody open. And then they brought McDonald all the way across from the other side, just dragged him. He's all the way up here and is going to come like this, all the way across the field. And Bishop has enough time to wait for him. He's waiting 5 seconds he has back there to throw before he makes the completion, dragging him all the way across the middle under the linebackers. Too much time. They've got to get more pressure on the quarterback.
Yeah, not much at all so far in this game. 2nd and 3, straight ahead across the 40 to the 39. That was Marlon Charles before Justin Wyatt could bring him down. Actually, that's Frank Murphy, who has just come in. Frank Murphy, a guy who Bill Snyder would really like to see play well today. He felt badly for him last week after the fumble that went back for a Nebraska touchdown. Out those 4 games early in the season. Understands the offense much better at this point. Murphy along the left side. Breaks it outside. He's got a first down for Kansas State. And let's go back to New York and check in again with John Saunders. John?
Terry, USC with a touchdown. Carson Palmer to Antoine Harris. But then on the next possession for UCLA, Deshaun Foster, 66 yards. His second rushing touchdown of the day, his 3rd overall. And the Bruins on top, 21-10. Terry.
All right, John. So the Bruins getting it done on the ground. Everyone talked about that matchup. Cade McDowell and the USC secondary.
UCLA is going to score a lot of points. There is no question about that. Against anybody in the country. The problem's been on the other side of the ball, stopping people. And Bob Toledo actually challenged his coaches. That became a controversy, but now they're winning.
Frank Murphy out the pitch for Michael Bishop. Run out of bounds at the 33. Before Carlos Posey was able to run him out. Well, you've got Tennessee, of course, and then UCLA. UCLA just ahead of these Wildcats, less than a point in the BCS standings. Strength of schedule so important too.
Boy, it really is. When you look at the polls and the computer rankings and the record, I mean, you say, well, Kansas State's right up top, but then you put that strength of schedule in, and that has hurt them. So they're 3rd right now.
What's done them in, although that changes every week. Remember that. Murphy away from 1. Fights his way down to the 30-yard line and driven out of bounds by Harold Piercy. But a tough run from Frank Murphy.
Defensively, Missouri is making plays but missing tackles. That should have been a 3-yard loss because they had him back there and just missed the tackle. As it turns out, it's still a pretty good defensive play. I mean, he gets very little out of it. Tough run to get there, but they had him dead to rights in the backfield. Just didn't finish.
3rd and a long 2. They've got to get inside the 29. Split the backs in the backfield. Bishop on the run. Throws towards the end zone. Just overthrown. Goolsby was out there, the fullback out of the backfield.
You know, Terry, he too looked open for a long time, and again, it was while Bishop was scrambling. Bishop just couldn't square up because he was being chased and give him the ball, and Bishop's not happy about it. He feels like he's getting some pressure, but Goolsby had his man beaten. I mean, he had a lot of steps on Posey, and Posey actually closed the gap there at the end.
A little more air underneath it, and Goolsby could have run to it. It's going to be a 47-yard attempt now, though, by Martin Gramatica. 17 out of 23 on the year, and they're going to talk it over. Garcia, who is the punter, is Martin's holder, and he called timeout to go have a word with Bill Snyder. So a 47-yarder on the way from Gramatica when we come back to Columbia. They'll call it a 48-yard attempt from Martin Gramatica. Down, up.
Nothing to it for him.
No problem.
No, he's hit 65-yarders. We saw him hit a 77-yarder in practice. That's just a chip shot for him. But still, Missouri has to feel good that it's only 10-0 at this point with all the opportunities that Kansas State has had.
Well, you're right. Kansas State has had a number of opportunities. Penalties have hurt them. Brought a few plays back, won a touchdown. But at some point, Missouri has to get something going on offense. This Kansas State defense has just been dominating.
Well, there's no question about it. They've tried the running game, and they've had some success with it. They've moved the chains a little bit, and they've had 5 first downs. But it feels like every time they're getting a first down, I mean, it's everything to get it. I mean, it's right there on 3rd down or 4th down. We've seen it happen, and they're really struggling right now. Nothing's coming easy for the Tigers.
Better than 68,000 on hand, the largest crowd since this stadium was remodeled back in the 80s. At 75,000 for, I think, a game against Penn State back in, what, 81. But with the new configuration, this is it. Ricardo Rhodes, Julian Jones back deep. Gramatica with a short kick for him at the 11-yard line. Julian Jones fighting his way up to the 23-yard line. And a reminder, ABC Sports presentation of college football brought to you by Chevrolet Truck. A lot of the folks on the hill today not even able to watch the game live. They've got to turn around and look at the big screen in back of them because they put 2,300 temporary bleachers in back of the end zone. And they're blocked up on the hill.
Traffic jams coming in today. We saw them walking from miles away toward the stadium.
And you wanted to get out and walk with them.
They're great fans. Looked like everybody was having fun, tailgating all the way.
Kansas State averaging over 23 points in the first half. And Missouri has led at halftime of every game this season.
Well, both of those are in jeopardy right now with 8:06 to play and a 10-0 score. And Missouri on the goose egg side of that.
They start from their own 24-yard line. Jones wants to throw off the option. Now he wants to run. Not much going on at all. Down at the 24, the original line of scrimmage. Jared Cooper in on the stop and help from Jeff Kelly.
And you have to wonder how long it'll be before Corby Jones just gets so frustrated. I mean, you can almost see it on his face right now. He's just not having the time. This is a option pass. He looks like he's going to run the option now. He's trying to throw, but there's absolutely no time because Kelly, number 8, comes in and causes him to run out of there. But once he runs out of there, there's his old buddy again, Cooper, who is tracking him down from everywhere on the field.
Against this defense and these linebackers, you think you have a hole, you think you have a lane, and all of a sudden it closes. And it closed right away on Devin West. Damian McIntosh, Lamar Chapman, the free safety came up to help right at the line of scrimmage.
Kansas State right now just showing why it is the #1 team in the nation. Just dominating that line of scrimmage. And then the fill they get from the linebackers in the secondary is phenomenal.
Looked like Jared Cooper was shaken up a little bit. Walking him off. Well, Nebraska a week ago had a great first half, and what they have 255 yards, I believe, at halftime offensively, something we haven't seen all year from Kansas State. But the Wildcats made the big plays in the second half to win it. 3rd and 9, not a spot you want to be in. Quick drop, quick throw. Wise with the catch. He's got a first down. The ball is loose, but they're going to call it down.
And that's a good call. And I have to tell you, that is a big-time play by Corby Jones. Under a great deal of pressure. I don't know how he got the pass off. Clemens came so hard with the pressure and was all over Jones when he released that pass. And then Wise makes a terrific catch. But watch this. Here they come up the middle. And look, he has a guy sitting in his face when he throws that ball over his helmet. Now look at the catch. He goes up and extends himself, catches it at its highest point, and the ground can't cause a fumble, and that's exactly what happened. Good no call by the official.
So they move the chains at the 39 now. Eric Spencer in motion. Going to come back this way. And another flag. Plenty of those today.
Well,
Prior to the snap, false start, offense, 5-yard penalty, repeat first down.
Earlier, we asked you the Aflac trivia question with the 4 coaches to take 4 different teams to bowl games. And the answer is Lou Holtz, Bill Mallory, Earl Bruce, and Larry Smith.
Can you name the 4 schools?
For Larry? What? Arizona, USC, Tulane, and Mizzou?
You're all over. Child's play for an academic All-American.
Now name all 16 for the 4 coaches. Jones throws, got a man wide open. John Dossman had no one around him at midfield. And that's another first down.
Again, they flooded an area. They sent Wise deep to clear the area out. Now watch this. He does have time, has time to look, go through his progression, and throw it out there. And once he throws it out there, there's Dossman wide open. And the reason he was wide open is because Wise went deep on a streak and took the safety with him.
A 17-yard play, and that's the biggest play from scrimmage today for the Tigers. First down at midfield. Dossman back to the far side. Devin West right up the middle. Fights his way down near the 45. A gain of 5 on first down.
Terry, there is no question. Best offensive series for Missouri yet. All of a sudden, it looks like they're starting to settle down. Corby Jones had time to throw. Devin West comes back now and gets a good gainer for a pickup of 5, pickup of 4. Offensive line is, they call it the gateway to the West. Among the nation's best in rushing teams, Missouri is.
They'll operate out of the I now on 2nd and 6. Long count for Jones. Gives it straight ahead to the fullback West, fighting his way down to the 43, maybe the 42-yard line. Got to get to the 39 for a first down. And don't forget, coming up in 4:33 and counting, Valvoline halftime 98. Scores and highlights from across the country on a big day of college football rivalry week. John Saunders and Todd Blackledge will have them all for you. Florida, Florida State, USC, UCLA, and this one here in Columbia. Play action for Jones. Flips it out for the first down. Rob West on the catch.
That was pretty neat, huh? Looked like Jones just gave him a little basketball pass. Watch this. Little play action, fake, gonna roll to the right side. Now he's gonna try to throw. Nobody deep. Now watch this. Just kind of shoves it. Boom. Little basketball pass. Get it out there into the flats and say, hey, Rob, go pick up the first. Keep in mind, we told you earlier, Rob West is a load. He's 240 pounds. You get him against the defensive back as a mismatch.
Gets a rest right now. Sean Benton in at fullback. 8th play of the drive. Devin West right behind Benton. Tough going over the right side. Damian McIntosh, all 290 pounds of him.
Yeah, it's tough going all up into that middle. He's just not having an easy time of it. Here again, they tried to pull Cliff Smith, the guard. They're pulling their guard, trying to get an extra blocker up in front of West, but it's just not doing a whole lot of good in that middle. Got to believe Kansas State has the best trio of linebackers in the country. It's pretty daggone good now. Think about Oaks and Kelly and Semino.
And they're all different when you look at them. I mean, Oaks, reliable. Kelly, an explosive player, emotional player. Semino, just a great player. Explodes at the line.
Corby Jones takes another timeout.
Missouri.
A crucial drive for Missouri with 3:03 left until halftime. They need to put something on the board. .303 left until halftime. Terry Gannon, Tim Brandt, and the Missouri Tigers have the momentum right now. Larry Smith, at least on this drive, their best drive of the football game. Corby Jones, 3 out of 3 for 38 yards since this drive began.
Long second down here, though, Terry.
Jones under pressure, throws it up. Dossman's got it. Inside the 10 to the 5.
Butler's got to be saying to himself, do you believe this?
So does Dossman. He had no business catching that ball.
But he had his eyes on it the whole time and made a great cut. First of all, watch Corby Jones again under pressure. The ball's deflected. I mean, he is just spanked. Great pressure again by Kansas State. But look at this. Butler falls down. Dossman had his eye on the ball. It was a dead duck. Came over and made the catch. Great play.
Full house backfield. 1st and goal from the 5. Devin West wrapped up behind the line of scrimmage. Darren Howard shot through there. It won't be easy from the 5-yard line. Sean Benton and Rob West, the 2 fullbacks, were in there in the backfield trying to lead the way for Devin West. The 11th play of the drive coming up now.
2 tight ends. They're trying to go with a power formation. They've been best on the corners.
2nd and goal. Jones under pressure. Wanted to throw, now he's going to run. Stretches out to the corner of the end zone. Touchdown.
They've been best on the corners.
Corby Jones may want this one more than any game he's ever played in. The final home game in his... Sean Benton and Rob West, the two fullbacks, were in there in the backfield trying to lead the way for Devin West. The 11th play of the drive coming up now.
Two tight ends. They're trying to go with a power formation. They've been best on the corners.
Second and goal. Jones under pressure. Wanted to throw, now he's going to run. Stretches out to the corner of the end zone. Touchdown.
They've been best on the corners.
Corby Jones may want this one more than any game he's ever played in. The final home game in his career.
This whole stadium's rocking. Darren Howard had pressure on him, but he picked up the pace. Once he got outside, it was a broken play. He was trying to pass it, but once he turned it up to run, he was not going to be denied.
The new all-time leading scorer, Tim, the extra point, which has been an adventure for them all year, up and good off the foot of Brian Long. But no one has scored more points in his career here at Missouri than Corby Jones. We've got a ball game right now. Let's step away for a moment to see what's coming up on ABC.
Friday, it's an ABC college football doubleheader. First, Ricky Williams goes for the all-time rushing record as Texas faces Texas A&M. Then Colorado battles Nebraska. It all starts Friday on ABC.
College football on ABC.
Bill Snyder right now has to be a little bit concerned, maybe more than a little bit, because his team has dominated until the last 2 minutes, but it's a 3-point game.
Keep in mind, Kansas State was so emotionally drained after the big win over Nebraska in the Miracle in Manhattan last week. You've got to wonder, well, are they going to be sharp today? Well, they're hurting themselves with penalties. They haven't been executing. They've had receivers open, and they haven't been hitting them. They just let Missouri back in this ball game.
Pooch kick, little sunshine effort at the 30-yard line. Brought back to the 37. David Conley, a backup linebacker, brought it back. There is a flag on the play.
I want you to watch this thing. When Darren Howard starts coming, and he's coming off the corner, and now watch this. But stop it right there, and here's your guy, Darren Howard. Now, when he feels that pressure, Corby Jones starts to pick things up and actually runs faster than he was before, knows the play's broken. Now he's going for the pylon, and watch his right arm. He'll take that football and just dive to break the imaginary plane.
Offset. First down, K-State.
Offsetting personal fouls on the kickoff. By the way, that was the first touchdown run allowed since the second game of the season for Kansas State.
But Corby Jones on that touchdown came out, and he was in a slow roll looking for his receiver, and all of a sudden he felt Howard on his heels, and he picked it up big time.
And Travis Oaks was back in the end zone. He didn't know where to go, to come up and play Jones or to stay back.
If the defense from Missouri can make a stop here with 1:49 left, look out, folks.
But you've got Michael Bishop running the show for Kansas State. He dropped the football. Got it back. And there's another penalty marker down at the 35. Right behind the line of scrimmage.
And it's against Kansas State.
Prior to the snap. False start offense. 5-yard penalty.
See, this happens after an emotional game like last week. They just haven't been sharp, and I guarantee you, Bill Snyder's going to light them up in that locker room at halftime.
How do you explain the problems Michael Bishop has had the last 2 weeks, though? 5 fumbles last week. He had 3 in the first half.
Well, when Nebraska scored first last week, it went up 7-0.
1-4-9.
And then
it's a dead ball foul.
Kansas State got the ball, and right in that very first series, they had a bad exchange. Had they not gotten it back and Nebraska going up 14-0, it could have been a different story last week.
7 penalties before halftime. Out of the gun. Bishop, who's got a gun. Not going to use it. Uses the wheels to get ahead and a first down out near midfield. Oh, Michael Bishop can beat you a number of ways.
You know, I think some of those guys felt he was going to run out of bounds, and he can cut that thing back. And he was almost gone. Just very dangerous wherever he is anytime.
Gain of 18. Ball at midfield, 1:34. Play action. Under pressure, Bishop, it picked off. Piercy's got it. Bringing it back to the 46. Big plays and momentum on the side of the Tigers now.
Did the same thing last week. Bishop made big plays. He also made some bad plays. This is a bad play, and he knows he threw an ill-advised pass. They had a zone coverage. They had him covered underneath, then over the top. Boy, I tell you what, that ball was just thrown almost like it was intended for Piercy. Now look at Bishop at the top of the screen. Never looks off his receiver. Never looks away, and never sees the free safety, Piercy. The ball was low. Piercy got it. Big pick. Missouri ball.
4th interception for Piercy. Only the 3rd all year for Bishop. Going up top on 1st down. It's caught by Dossman. To the 20-yard line.
I think Dawsey got away with a push-off, but it's still a great catch. He just puts air under this ball and throws it as far as he can. Dawsey's battling with Carter, and look at this catch. Great extension, got his feet down, so there's no question that he was in bounds and about the catch.
33 yards on the play. Dossman
is pretty good here today. He's made some big catches.
80 yards already. You remember what we told you about Missouri leading at halftime every game this year, trying to do it again. Kareem Wise comes down with it. Was he in?
Yes.
Touchdown.
And again, it was over top of Carter. Carter's 5'10". Wise is 6'3", and Jones put it up high and let Wise go get it. Now look at the height advantage. Put it up, put it out, and put it high. He did. Touchdown. And again, Wise was pushing and shoving. The same thing Dossman did a minute ago.
So close to the sideline.
Field judge, who was right there, didn't make the call. Back judge put his hands up. Touchdown.
Long for the extra point. Hooks it. No good. What has come back to haunt Missouri all year long. Special teams.
You know, Terry, the field judge was right there on the line looking at his feet. The back judge put his arms up, and he was way across the other side. Now watch his feet when he comes up. You see the right hand, the push. All right, now here it goes. See if it's all he needs is one in.
Oh, that heel on the white line.
I don't know.
It looked like that heel touched the line, but yeah, awfully close.
You got to believe Corby Jones right now has the ultimate high. He throws 2 dangerous passes. His receivers go up and battle and get them. They come down. They go down to the 20. They go into the end zone. Touchdown, and all of a sudden, Missouri has the lead again with 1:10 to go in the half.
For 27 minutes of this first half, it was all Kansas State, but they didn't take advantage, Tim, and penalties came back to hurt them. Now in the last 2 minutes, Missouri has brought this ball game back, and at this point, 68,000 people in here are an entirely different crowd than they were earlier.
Penalties and the big turnover, the interception that Bishop threw.
Going to kick it deep this time. Murphy bringing it back. Frank Murphy across the 30 and out to the 38-yard line. You've still got a minute 2 left until halftime.
Here it is again. Look at this play. This is the touchdown. Now this is the field judge. He's right on the play. He's looking at it. Now watch. He won't make a call. Here's the catch. Watch the foot. It's on the line. Now he's not making the call. The call came from over here from the back judge, who was back by the goalpost.
And that's a better angle that we just had, and Kareem Wise clearly on the line.
Look, he's looking at the back judge to see what the back judge said. He was out of bounds.
Yep. First down for Michael Bishop, throwing back, flanker screen coming back this way. Aaron Lockett up to the 47. Both teams with one timeout.
College football, you got to love it.
Ball was on the turf. Flags on the play. They're going to whistle it dead. And Bishop takes a shot from Justin Smith. Pat each other on the helmet and make up.
You know, his feet kind of slipped under him more than anything.
Ball start. Offense. 5 yards. Repeat second down.
This is not the same offense that Wildcat fans have watched all season.
But it's still as dangerous as ever.
Sure.
I think everybody expected a little bit of a letdown after what took place in Manhattan last week.
Don't know how you avoid it as a coaching staff, even though Bill Snyder was confident he could. Bishop running the wrong way. Throwing back. Goolsby with the catch. Pounding his way up near midfield and close to a first down, but 20 seconds and counting now.
Kansas State needs a timeout here. I don't know why they took so long. They finally take a timeout with 11 seconds left. I think they were waiting to see if he got the first down, which would stop the clock to move the chains, but they finally take the timeout.
Yeah, they lost some seconds. Bishop and Snyder trying to put more on the board before the halftime.
This year, Big 12
Sports are better for the heart.
Special Olympics in the Big 12 Conference, a partnership for life.
It would have been easy to have been a football player and not a student. And conversely, it would have been much easier to have been just a student and left football for some other day and time. But it wouldn't have been as joyous, as rich, as humbling to have been one without the other. So for all of us, I say thank you from the bottom of my heart, not for a single award on a single night, but for the many memorable and molding moments that we have had the privilege to call ourselves student athletes.
11 seconds actually left until halftime, and Tim, you know you've got Martin Gramatica out there who can kick him 65 yards.
But it would be into the wind, and there's no timeouts left, so they're just going to try to get back into the locker room here.
Bishop on the run, down to the 35.
Now you're in his range, and the clock stops while they move the chains. He's got to step up and take a clock play. Might be a second left. If he's smart, he'll throw this ball into the ground and try to get Gramatica on. Watch, see if he throws it right into the ground.
Yep, there it is.
All right, now that gives you 4 seconds and gives you time to get Gramatica onto the field. Boy, that was nice. You talk about clock management. No timeouts left, and they do that.
And you've got a guy coming on the field who's already kicked a 65-yarder this year and won the Groza Award last year.
Well, this will be about a 45-yarder. It's into the wind, but his leg is huge.
52-yarder. 4 seconds left until the half. Plenty of leg, but wide.
Wow.
If it was dead on, that would have been good from 65 or 70, but it was wide, so Gramatica misses the field goal. And Bill Snyder heads to the locker room, having watched his team dominate early, but Missouri come back to take a 3-point lead. Valvoline halftime 98 comes up next. Missouri leads once again at halftime. John and Todd are back after this message and a word from our ABC stations.
Always tell the guys who use Valvoline. From our New York studios, John Saunders and Todd Blackledge.
13-10 Missouri with the lead over Kansas State, but they've had the lead at halftime every game they have played this year. Should be a great second half. Kentucky against Tennessee. Tennessee is #1, and for Kentucky, you had to wonder how they would respond to tragedy there this week, the death of their teammate Artie Steinmetz. and a friend, Scott Brock, and the injury to Jason Watts. It has been a struggle for Kentucky. You would expect that, however.
Well, they came out and looked pretty good early, but Tennessee too much for them running the football right at that Kentucky defense.
All right, USC against UCLA. Cade McNown has been Mr. Everything for the Bruins this year, and he comes up and plants his feet and tosses this one to Danny Farmer. 42 yards, gets it down to the 20-yard line, sets up a touchdown. They had a 7-3 lead. And Deshaun Foster, what a game he's having.
UCLA has so many weapons on offense, very difficult to defend. Here, Foster takes it through the line, 66 yards for the touchdown. 4 turnovers in the first half for USC. You can't turn the ball over against a team as good and explosive as UCLA.
Yeah, Foster with 3 touchdowns in the game, 2 on the ground. And look at Cade McNown, 8 of 13. He's got 2 interceptions, but again, the leadership you talked about.
He does whatever the team needs. He gets the ball in the hands of the right people, the people that can make plays.
Huge matchup between Florida and Florida State. Pre-game, there's a fight. 2 Seminoles ejected and 1 Gator, but it's his starting cornerback, Tony George. You can see the intensity. Apparently, the Gators were walking all over the Seminole symbol. Doug Johnson, 50 yards to Travis McGriff. McGriff having just a terrific season.
Well, he got behind the defense that time. He has been the go-to guy for Doug Johnson. Marcus Outzen has had a little bit of a rough time here. He was sacked 5 times in the first half. That time they were lucky to get away with a safety and not a touchdown. You take a look at Johnson's number. Neither quarterback is going to have a huge game against these defenses, but Doug Johnson doing a better job right now.
Yeah, tough place for Outzen to go into. Kansas State against Missouri. Kansas State trying to move up the field in the Bowl Championship Series race. They're #1 team, but they're #3 in the Bowl Championship Series. Michael Bishop, what a game he had last week against Nebraska. Here to Gavin Parise. And look at this. I mean, he just runs out of a tackle, runs to the sidelines, and just rifles it to the end zone, 7-0. But Corby Jones showing, as he did against Nebraska last year, but he's quite capable of winning a game himself on the run there.
Both quarterbacks wear number 7, both of them exciting. Here, Corby Jones, we thought they would have to throw some to have a chance here. A nice touchdown pass at the end of the half. 13-10, Missouri goes in with the lead at halftime.
Michael Bishop, you see the 84 yards and 50 on the ground. He was about 400 last week. Michigan against Ohio State. Wolverines, you win the game, and they are headed to the Rose Bowl for Ohio State. Well, they just wanted to win this game after losing to Michigan State earlier this year. And Joe Germain to David Boston, 30 yards on the touchdown. You got a little penalty for the finger pointing there, but just the same for the Buckeyes. 31-16 is the final. Boston, 10 receptions for 217 yards. And for John Cooper, just his 2nd victory against the Wolverines.
Michigan is a class act. They're a great football team. And I told Lloyd Carr before the game, I don't know if anybody has done a better job of coaching that football team than he has this year, but boy, this was a great victory for our football program, and I'm so proud of our football team. The fans helped us win the game. So proud of these seniors.
And it shows the intensity in the Big Ten. They lose that game, lose their chance for a national championship. This game's so meaningful.
Yeah, and great job by Joe Germain. 330 yards passing, 3 touchdowns, and hats off to the Ohio State defense. They held Michigan to 4 yards rushing.
So Wisconsin gets the help they needed. If they beat Penn State, they would be headed to the Rose Bowl. Mike Samuel having a big day early on here, 26 yards. Chris Chambers deserves the credit with that diving catch, but Wisconsin was on top 14-0, and the Nittany Lions cannot get any offense going.
No, way too much penetration into the backfield at Penn State. They can't get anything going offensively. Wisconsin playing very well at home right now.
LSU had a big lead over Notre Dame, but the Fighting Irish come back and win it 39-36. Jarius Jackson, 276 yards and a couple of touchdowns, almost 100 yards on the ground. Houston and Tulane, as Tommy Bowden looks to remain unbeaten. They struggled early in this game, but right now they have a 20-13 lead, and Sean King, almost 200 yards through the air and a couple of touchdowns. Air Force over Rice, 22-16. They clinched the WAC Mountain Division there. And BYU against Utah. BYU will win the WAC Pacific if they get the victory, and they do. 26-24 the final. Syracuse against Temple. And Syracuse has been one of those up and down years. 21-0, though. They have the lead right now as Robert Conrad has a touchdown run. Stanford and Cal. Damian Douglas, 5 receptions. He breaks the Pac-10 single-season receptions with 90, breaking Keyshawn Johnson's record at USC. And Washington and Washington State. Willie Hurst with a touchdown run there. 6-2 is the lead here. Stick around. More of Valvoline Halftime 98 in just a moment. The Sears Collegiate Champions Program awards more than 2,200 trophies annually, including this Sears Trophy, which will be presented to the winner of the national championship game January 4th at the Tostitos Fiesta Bowl. Welcome back. And one of the teams, of course, in the running for that, or was in the running until last week, Arkansas, their first loss against Tennessee. But with a win against Mississippi State today, they would have a chance to get Tennessee one more time in the SEC championship game. Clint Sterner here, 30 yards to Anthony Lucas on the money. And Arkansas had grabbed the lead 21-19. And then Wayden Madkin had a great day, 19 yards to Kevin Cooper. And Mississippi State would go back on top. But it would come down with time running down. Brian Hazelwood, 27-yard field goal. His school record 5th of the day. All-time scoring leader now at Arkansas. Or rather at Mississippi State. And Mississippi State bounces back to win this game. So if they win next week against Ole Miss, they are in.
And a great game for Madkins, playing without their leading guy. James Johnson left early in the game with a groin pull. Hazelwood not only made the game winner, but 5 for 5 in field goals today, a school record.
Ole Miss, the team they will face next week, a loser to Georgia today, 24-17. So here's a look at the standings in the SEC West. Mississippi State, as we mentioned, next week against Ole Miss, win the game. They're in the SEC championship game. And Georgia, as I mentioned, over Ole Miss 24-17. Quincy Carter with another good day.
Quincy Carter, 179 yards passing, 94 yards rushing. It's a guy who can do it all from the quarterback position.
Rutgers trying to pick up their 6th win of the season today against Virginia Tech. Not this time around. They get blown out. 47-7 was the final. Al Clark has been hurt much of the year, but looked good today.
Got the Virginia Tech offense off the snide a little bit. They only had 152 yards total last week in the loss to Syracuse. Got it going a little bit today.
How do you like this score for Georgia Tech? 63-35, 6-1 in the ACC. And Joe Hamilton, 14 of 19, almost 200 yards, and a couple of touchdowns as well. NC State all over Maryland, 35-21. Torrey Holt breaks the ACC single-season record for receptions, 79 now he has on his career after 8 today. Illinois, no match for Michigan State, 41-9. Cedric Irvin, 94 yards and 2 touchdowns. Bill Burke, 17 of 28, 263. Indiana lives with the old Oaken Bucket, 52-7 is the final. Purdue, Drew Brees, what an unbelievable performance he's had this year.
Nobody in the Big Ten seems to be able to have an answer for Drew Brees and Joe Tiller's offense. 237 yards, 4 more touchdowns today.
Some tennis, the Chase Championships. Lindsay Davenport and Martina Hingis win doubleheader. It starts with Texas A&M against Texas. Ricky Williams needs just 63 yards to become the all-time leading rusher in college football history. And then it's Colorado against number 19 Nebraska. Then on Saturday, some will see Michigan State. Time, the Fighting Irish of Notre Dame against USC. The Irish all the way up to number 10. This is Valvoline, halftime 98.
You can always tell the guys who use Valvoline.
I came to the University of Missouri to help build a better football program. What Missouri did was help build a better me.
Athlete of the Week award. Each week during the 98 season, Ferguson Corporation and its National Franchise Association will donate $1 million to the General Scholarship Funds for recipient colleges and universities. This week's Scholar Athlete is Jason Elian, tight end at Texas Christian University. Jason, an international finance major with a 3.95 GPA, is a member of the Big Brothers Big Sisters and hopes to continue his education abroad.
I'm planning to study in London in the spring and finish up my international finance degree in the Bloomsbury District in London, the TCU London Center. After that, I would enjoy to go back to England, hopefully study at Oxford, and get a master's degree in theology and philosophy.
Jason Elian, the Burger King Scholar Athlete. Now a sad note, Eddie Elias, a television sports pioneer, passed away early this week, complications because of pneumonia. He was best known for founding the PBA, 69 years of age, survived by his wife Peggy and his 2 daughters, Rainey and Annie.
I'm Alfred Williams. Join me at 5:30 Monday on 7 News Sports.
This is ABC Sports, home of the Bowl Championship Series.
Back in Columbia, Missouri, Kansas State trying to stay in the national championship picture. They trail by 3. Missouri had the opening kickoff, so they will get us underway here in the second half. Frank Murphy back deep, awaiting Alexander St. Peter's kick, and it's out of bounds up at the 12. St. Peter, a pooch kicker, Bring him in to kick that sunshine kick. First half highlights, Tim.
Kansas State got on the board first. Michael Bishop avoids Gibson, rolls to the right. Now watch this. 10-yard strike. Evan Parise right inside the pylon. Touchdown, Kansas State. At this point, they were dominating. But look at Corby Jones. Comes back being chased by Howard. Breaks the tackle. Watch him dive and just barely break the plane. That brought him back. Then there was the interception. And now look at this. The touchdown pass to Wise. Is he in? Well, they ruled he was. Replay showed he wasn't, but it counted, and Missouri led at the half.
As they have all year long, it looked for most of the first half like they would not lead. But they came back in the last 3 minutes of the first half to charge ahead. And the ball went out of bounds, but they're not going to bring it out to the 35. Kansas State wants to do it over again. They know that St. Peter, when he is in, it will be a little pooch kick. And David Allen, a dangerous return man, up at the 15.
Terry, I'm sure the 13-10 Missouri lead at the half got the attention of the nation. But let the record clearly state, Kansas State pretty well dominated most of that first half. And I guarantee you, Bill Snyder lit him up and told him what was at stake at halftime.
An even shorter kick this time. The fair catch up at the 34-yard line. And so good field position for Kansas State on the opening drive of the second half. And hi again, everyone. Terry Gannon along with Tim Brandt. It was turnovers and penalties in the first half that did in Kansas State. They only trail by 3, though, but this, you've got to believe Bill Snyder reminded them what's going on here.
There's no question about it. I guarantee you he lit them up at halftime. And we also talked at half, there are 5-yard penalties and there are 7-point penalties. Kansas State had one of those 7-point penalties when they had a touchdown called back because of procedure.
National championship hopes on the line. The next 30 minutes of football. Marlon Charles on the first carry of the second half breaks it open. The near sideline, inside the 20, and finally brought down. Charles all the way to the 11-yard line.
Yeah, put that one on Bill Snyder. You know he got after him. These guys are the Big 12 North champions, and the reason being is because of plays like this. They aren't going to stay down long. Look at the blocking up front. Then once he kicks outside, Marlon Charles turns it on, changes the ball to his outside arm. Big time play. Pursuit's coming. He feels it. Still tries to break some tackles and stay in bounds. But they got him at the last second, and the ball's all the way down to the 11-yard line.
55 yards on the carry for Charles. Remember, Eric Hickson, the all-time leading rusher, out with a high ankle sprain. 1st and 10. They can get a first down without getting a touchdown. Bishop down near the 1-yard line. Jeff Marriott brought him down from behind. As the Wildcats come charging out, the Morgan Stanley Dean Witter first half stats, the turnover, the interception, Michael Bishop's 3rd of the year.
Yeah, and if you look down that right column, you'll see that Missouri also got in its licks. And that one interception, of course, led to the touchdown. But Corby Jones completed his last 7 passes of the half. So if they get back on, you got a quarterback with a hot hand. But right now, this is the Michael Bishop show.
Ryan Goolsby and Charles in the backfield. It's Bishop behind the line of scrimmage. Fights his way ahead down near the 1. That's where he needs to get for the first down. So we'll wait and see. It looked like he was going to be brought down behind the line of scrimmage initially.
Yeah, that big offensive line, too, which, by the way, is just flat out huge. One of the largest in the country. They get out, they get on black jerseys, they get a good push. But the backside pressure, as you said, came from Miniguchi, and he got a good lick to stop the touchdown.
Miniguchi had him, but Michael Bishop goes about 205, and he is very strong.
Well, Miniguchi at 266 got that line from the backside pretty quick.
But it will be a first down. So 1st and goal from inside the 1.
Now the question is, how many plays will it take? Because it's a foregone conclusion for the most part when Kansas State gets down that deep that they score.
Although Bishop last week had a fumble in a situation like this. Not this time. Bishop to the end zone.
Michael Bishop was not happy at the end of that first half. He was visibly upset at himself. He threw the interception that led to the go-ahead touchdown. He comes back here and leads a great drive, and they move right down the field. following that big run from Charles. He's emotional, isn't he?
You can keep this offense in check at some point, and the Missouri defense did a nice job stopping the big plays for the most part in the first half, but they are dangerous and they can explode in a hurry. The extra point from the Gramatica splits the uprights. So the 1-yard touchdown run, but the big play on the drive, Marlon Charles, 55 yards to set up the touchdown. Michael Bishop emotional as he came to the sideline after his touchdown, has finally settled in a little bit, but an emotional leader for this Wildcat offense, and they have come charging out here in the second half to take a 17-13 lead. Gramatica sends Ricardo Rhodes 5 yards deep. He's going to bring it back. They faked the reverse. Should have given it to him. Out to the 13. That's it. Travis Litton lit him up.
You look at what Missouri's done over the last 15 games, and the 4 losses that they've had have come from big-time opponents. They led each one of these games at the half, but still fell short against A&M last weekend. Nebraska, of course, Ohio State, they led both of those games at the half, and then Nebraska from last year, and everybody remembers the miracle finish in that one.
So it's up to Corby Jones now, who was on fire at the end of the first half. Those are his numbers. He hit 7 passes in a row to close out the first half. From the 14, Devin West wrapped up right away, falls ahead for 1.5 yards.
Pretty smart play there. You're backed up and you don't want to do anything crazy here. You don't have to get it back right away. You want to stay in your game plan, and of course the game plan means running Devin West.
West 136 yards away from the all-time leading rushing mark as he came into the game. He's got 33 so far.
On 10 carries, he struggled for those yards.
Long count for Jones. Here's the option. Not much of an option. Slammed to the turf by Joe Bob Clements. Well, next Saturday live at 1 Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific here on ABC Sports, a Big Ten battle. Michigan State taking on number 14 Penn State. Tim and I will be there in Happy Valley. Then college football goes prime time. Autry Denson and the Fighting Irish take on the USC Trojans, one of the great rivalries in all of college football, at 8 Eastern here on ABC. Key play. Swing pass, dangerous pass. West hauls it in, but bounced down to the ground at the 14.
Big time play by Butler, who read it all the way. At first, I thought Butler was going to have a chance to intercept it, but instead he made a smart move, and instead of going for the ball, went for the receiver, knocked him down, lost on the play, and now they've got a kick. Look at this. Got pressure. They came with the blitz. He throws ahead, but look at this Butler play. Just knocks him off stride, lets pursuit come. Bingo. He's down. There's a loss on the play, and now the weakest part of Missouri's game plan, and that's the kicking game.
And it looks like they're coming after him. Oh, they back off a few right now to set up a return for David Allen. Line drive punt. Allen with a C. David Allen inside the 30. Cuts back to the 11. And the Wildcats on a roll. A 43-yard return for David Allen.
David Allen, certainly one of the best in the country at returning kicks, if not the best. 29 punt returns, and he's had 4 touchdowns off of those. It averages 22 yards every time he touches it. This one he almost snaps. Gets some good blocking, finds the seam. Now watch this. Look at the move he puts on the kicker. Boom, boom. Gets to the outside, and then finally tracked down from behind.
Marlon Charles on first down. Fights his way inside the 10 to the 9.
Haven't you had the feeling, Terry, since the game began that Kansas State was ready to just blow them out? But somehow Missouri just keeps hanging in there.
Now Kansas State hurt themselves with the penalties in the first half. That hasn't happened so far.
No, this looks like a much sharper team, much more in focus team this second half. We looked for it early. It wasn't there, which is natural coming off the big win over Nebraska. But here in this half, they look sharp.
That's Marlon Charles, who carried the ball down on the turf. Wouldn't you have liked to have been in the locker room at halftime to hear Bill Snyder? Well, tomorrow at 1 o'clock Eastern.
This injury to Charles is magnified by the fact Eric Hickson, the starting tailback, is already out. You lose Hickson and you're losing almost 900 yards of offense. Now you come in with Charles, and Charles is hurt. There's a look at Eric Hickson, who we didn't even think was going to be in uniform today and couldn't play, I don't believe, with a bad knee. But now Charles is hurt, and that just leaves Frank Murphy at running back. That's it. Not that the running back plays that big of a role when Hickson's out, but obviously this is a big blow to Kansas State.
They'll continue to work on Marlon Charles. We'll step away and be back in a moment. They brought out a stretcher from Marlon Charles, who has been down on the turf. Initially, it looked like it may have been his knee, but then they were looking at the back.
Yeah, they're bringing out the board now, so obviously they're trying to stabilize him. And it looks like, you know, it could be a hip or a back problem, but obviously they're bringing out the board, and they're going to strap him to that board to keep him mobilized.
And in fact, the trainers just told one of the officials that they suspect it is his hip. That's maybe a dislocated hip, but that's speculation by the trainers right now, but they're not going to take any chances.
There's a look at Eric Hickson, who's unable to play today because of his bad knee, sprained knee, wasn't able to put any pressure on it at all. He injured his ankle and his knee last week, his leg.
That'll be Frank Murphy coming in now from Marlon Charles. And while we have a moment, a reminder, ABC Sports presentation of college football brought to you by Genuine Chevrolet, the cars more Americans trust. Burger King, if you ask us, it just tastes better. Dr. Pepper in your local Dr. Pepper bottler. Dr. Pepper, this is the taste. And Tostitos, proud sponsor of the Tostitos Fiesta Bowl, college football's national championship.
As they were taking Charles out on the stretcher, he was raising his hand to his players and urging them on.
It's a 2nd and 8 coming up.
Well, they're having trouble getting the play in, and you're going to have to call a timeout because the play clock is down to 5, and they still it looked like Bishop didn't know what the play was. He couldn't read the signal.
Not a timeout that you want to burn right now this early in the second half. If you're Bill Snyder, it couldn't come back later and haunt you.
May I help you?
17-13, Kansas State leading and inside the 10 once again. 2nd down and 8 coming up.
You had 3 minutes when the player was down on the field. You wonder, how could they not get a play in? They come back out. Bishop still didn't know the play. They had to call a timeout and waste it there.
Frank Murphy now in at tailback for the injured Marlon Charles. They bump in the backfield. The pitch out to Murphy, trying to get to the end zone. He's going to make it. Touchdown, Kansas State.
Well, maybe it was worth the timeout. But once he got it outside, McDonald gave him a great block.
9-yard touchdown run for Frank Murphy.
Bishop takes it down the line. He sees the defensive end. Good read there. Gets it outside to Murphy. Now watch the block. Here comes McDonald. Gets a block right there on number 5, Posey. Just enough to hold him up. And the touchdown by Murph, who just breaks that imaginary plane. They all put that ball out in front of them. Nicely done.
You don't think emotion plays a huge role in college football? You know, Bill Snyder at halftime reminded Kansas State of what is at stake. Gramatica straight on through for the extra point. So the tide has turned. It was all Missouri in the last couple of minutes of the first half. And it is now 24-13. Wildcats leading in the second.
This is the way the game originally started.
Yeah.
It was Kansas State, all Kansas State. And then Missouri found life at the end of the half. And we come out again, and it's
Kansas State, and they're dominant.
So Murphy on for the injured Marlon Charles, who is on for the injured Eric Hickson. Changed the numbers, results the same. And Missouri told us this week, the coaches said, we respect Eric Hickson, but we don't really care who's in at tailback for Kansas State. It's Michael Bishop that hurts us.
That was the point. It was Michael Bishop. He's the guy. He is the engine that drives this train. He makes things happen. It doesn't matter who's behind him. Defenses are concerned with the ability that he has to run, to throw, and to create. Well, you've got a feeling that Missouri really needs something positive to happen now, or this could be Katie bar the door.
Rhodes and Jones back deep. Probably should not have returned the last kick from Martin Gramatica. Brought it out from 5 yards deep. Only got to the 14. Rhodes has to bring this one up. Got a lane up the sideline. Ricardo Rhodes across midfield and brought down at the 39-yard line. Jared Cooper made this hit. But there's the big play that you just mentioned.
60-yard return. If that doesn't get them back in this thing and get the black shirts going. They needed a big play, and they got it. Boy, how great is this? Watch the lane he gets up that right side. Rhodes just turns it loose now. He's got the big guys out in front of him. Look at the train out there with Garrett Hill. He breaks a couple of tackles before he's finally tracked down from behind. But 60 yards on the return, and all of a sudden, Corby Jones has a lot of room to work now in Kansas State territory.
And some life as well. You could feel the spirit just drained out of this stadium. But now it is back.
And Jones takes a timeout because the play clock was down to 1.
It's not easy to see the play clock either because of all the folks sitting up on the hill. It's kind of buried. 24-13, Missouri's ball when we come back.
Corby Jones had to take a timeout. One of the problems both quarterbacks have had with this huge crowd is finding that thing. That's the play clock. Normally, this is a vacant hill. Those aren't stands. Those are people on the hill. But they're kind of blocking that play clock. Very difficult to see.
We've seen at least 3 delay of game penalties today. So on first down, Corby Jones under center as Dossman comes back in motion. On the roll, Jones looking, has a man. His tight end Blakely knocked out of bounds. Inside the 25, he got to the 23-yard line. First catch of the afternoon for Dwayne Blakely. A gain of 17.
Boy, Blakely's a big guy, too, and he's 6'4", 256 pounds. Again, it's just one of those little touch passes. He lets Big Blakely get out under it. Now he tries to pick up a block from Wise. Wise doesn't get over there quick enough, but still, they move the chains. You know, Blakely's a great story. There's a guy that put on 30 pounds in his redshirt year. 30 pounds of muscle. Talk about a guy in a growing stage.
Had a touchdown catch last week against A&M. Devon Black now in at tailback. Here he goes, straight ahead. Big hole for Black. The junior out of St. Louis, giving Devin West a rest.
And they came in with a big fullback, Sean Benton. Now, oftentimes, because Missouri used a lot of formation to bring tight ends in, but watch 35 right here lead this play up. That's Benton. Gets a good block on the linebacker, and there's 25 Black, takes advantage of it and slips through the crease.
Wise to the near side. Dossman split out to the far side. They give it to the fullback this time. That's West bulling his way for a first down.
He almost broke it. Benton is the better blocker. Rob West is the better runner. And West this time uses speed. Watch this. Here's the fullback, breaks the tackle, and look, that's the last tackle between he and the goal line. Lamar Chapman, number 1, saved the touchdown. Just ran over Chapman, didn't he?
No shot. West getting a breather. Benton and Black out of the eye now.
They've had success on the corners, Terry.
Devon Black, they're going to run it straight ahead. Not much success there.
No, and they've really struggled up the middle most of the afternoon and evening. Had a couple of big plays here on this drive, as we just showed you. But now that you're down here in the scoring zone that they call it, and down at the 11, go ahead and test that corner. Get one of your best runners out there, West or Corby Jones, and let him see what he can do. If he can break containment, flood control, get to that pylon.
As you said, that's where their success has come today. And Corby Jones using his speed and his decision-making out on the corner.
See if they can get a little play-action fake to hold the linebackers and get Jones outside.
Running more than passing today, the Tigers. Here goes the option. Jones is going to keep it. Upended inside the 5 down to the 4. Jared Cooper has been active as he always is.
Again, he wants to option the defensive end. Watch this. He comes down, fakes. All right, he sees everybody starting to get cut off there by his guys. They got a seal in the corner, so he just tucks it away. Still could have pitched it because West was open on the outside. Now the wide side of the field comes the other way. They ought to go back and run the same thing and get out on the corner.
The ball at the 4-yard line. 3rd and 3. Here he comes. Jones looking for room. Diving ahead. He won't get there. The ball is loose. I believe they whistled it dead. They did. Mark Semino hit him and jarred the ball loose, but he was already down.
Well, I can guarantee you this. They're going for it on 4th. Well, wait a minute now. Larry Smith said anytime we get down, it's close and 4th down, we're going for it. But instead, he brings on the field goal team.
Like Corby Jones is shaken up.
That could be one reason.
It might be. Because Brian Long is on for a field goal try of just outside the 20-yard line. That's a 21-yarder. They're going to call it. Hooked one the first time. This time barely gets it up.
Field goal kicking for them is an adventure.
But inside that left upright, it's always exciting. But that time 3 points on the board for Long.
Did you think they were going to go there?
Yeah, I really did.
Especially after what Coach Smith told us yesterday. He is so disappointed in what has taken place with the kicking game.
Well, they've got walk-ons. They've got freshmen. That's awfully tough to get it done with first-year players. Well, Larry Smith talked to us about that, but also he was talking to us about what it takes to pull off major upsets.
When you play teams like Texas A&M and Kansas State and Nebraska and Ohio State, that the bottom line is stay on the field with them. And then after you stay on the field, which we've done, the next thing is make the plays at the critical times that are going to win the game for you. And that's the thing that we haven't been able to do.
Well, they made a critical play there. They got the field goal and they needed it, but you know, he had lost a little bit of faith in there. He was talking about the transition and, as you said, how young they are there at that spot. Transition they're trying to make. The walk-ons that have played there.
Corby Jones banged up. He is walking on the sideline. They were working on him a moment ago. Remember the extra point earlier in the game that was missed by Long. It's an 8-point game right now. Pooch kick again. Goolsby, the fullback. Fair catch at the 24. Well, this could be the biggest upset perhaps in the history of Missouri, but for Kansas State even more at stake as you look at the bowl championship series. And of course these 4 bowls: the Rose Bowl presented by AT&T, the Nokia Sugar Bowl, FedEx Orange Bowl, and the Tostitos Fiesta Bowl. These 6 conferences with automatic berths plus 2 at-large bids. And all of that on the line is Kansas State ranked 3rd in the BCS. Frank Murphy reverses field. And now he's got a wide open field with Bishop leading it. Murphy inside the 40. And Posey runs him out of bounds at the 28-yard line. It was Marlon Charles who had a 55-yard run to set up the first touchdown of the second half. And now Murphy goes for 47.
I don't care what kind of defense you're in. Stop right there. See this guy right here? He's got backside flood control. He's got to stay on his outside leg and look for anything coming back. But he gets caught up inside. Now watch this. When he reverses field, see where 67 is. Whoops. I'm caught inside. I'm blocked. I'm gone. And now there is absolutely nobody out here to stop him. Pursuit's coming this way, and that's how they get him. But that's a great reverse because nobody had the trailer and looked for anything coming back in containment.
And Michael Bishop looking to throw a block. Got a little bit of one at the end. Straight ahead goes David Allen now, giving Murphy a rest after the 47-yard run in the BCS standings. Tennessee, then UCLA, Kansas State less than a point behind UCLA, Tim.
And Kansas State, of course, hurt by the strength of schedule, which everybody's talked about all year. And I think it was ranked number 68 in the country. And that has hurt them all the way through because in the other categories, they're doing very, very well.
Of course, it changes from week to week, and that certainly could change. This one tipped and incomplete. Javonte Robinson got a piece of the pass from Michael Bishop. And you mentioned the strength of schedule, that one of the critical factors. 104, the polls, the 2 polls, computer rankings, those 3 computers, and losses.
Yeah, see where they rank? 68 strength of schedule, while Tennessee's 13th and UCLA's 12th. So that's been the difference, or is the difference right now.
Over 2 points behind UCLA in the quartile rank, which is just measuring the strength of schedule. That's why they're in 3rd. Bishop with time initially. Throws after he is hit and underthrows Lockett. The Missouri defense in the first half, when they started to get the Bishop, that's when they had success.
The defense on this series has played much, much better. But here and there they have one breakdown, and that breakdown kills them. You saw McCamey, 67, get caught inside, and when that happened, the play breaks down. Everything else was stopped.
They'll place this one down outside the 42 for Gramatica. Knuckleball kick that doesn't make it.
Wow.
Bill Snyder is stunned, and much of this crowd is too. That just doesn't happen to Martin Gramatica.
Bill's saying, what happened? We can't have that. We're going after national championships. Now look, here's the snap. Hold looks good. You know what? It looked like he came in too tight on it. He didn't have good extension. Everything was too tight and too cramped. His plant foot was too close to the ball.
Second miss. Only the second time all you made a point at the beginning. Only the second time all year they've played on natural grass. A flag on the play. Jerometrius Butler may have got a hand in there.
Corby Jones and Missouri have had great success with the fade pattern. And the reason they have great success is because the receivers get good position on the ball, break to the outside. He throws it to the outside. Well, to get out there, Butler pushed him.
Dossman and Butler, it's been a great one-on-one matchup.
Defense. First down.
Take a look at this. Here's Dossman. Actually, I think the shove happened before that because by that point he was beaten, and he makes up time here. Once he got to that point, that's pretty good defensive play.
It must have been before that because
pretty good defensive play right there.
Nothing wrong with that. Butler's done a heck of a job filling in for Gerald Niesman, who's been out 4 games with a deep thigh bruise.
I'll tell you, if it didn't happen before that, then there shouldn't have been a flag.
Good average on first down. Here comes Corby Jones trying to get outside. Corralled at the 44.
Corby's struggling. He continues to limp, and he gets up again, and he's in pain. Coaches don't want to hear it. They're still down on the sideline giving him the play. He's in pain, and he limped badly to get up, and he's still limping. But the coaches are just giving him play and acting like everything's all right. Corby, let's go. There's a difference between pain and injury. You're just in some pain. Let's go, son.
His numbers, 142 yards in the air. Missouri had 180 yards in the first half. Kansas State only gives up a little over 230 for the game on the average. Devon Black with a big hole. Brought down at the 44 by Carter, but not before he gets enough for a first down.
Terry, you know, Devin West gets all the publicity around here, and he does have over 1,500 yards coming into the game and a 6-yard average. But what a great changeup Devon Black gives him. This is a 13-yard pickup. Again, they bring over 57. Heimberger, they trap, they pull the guard, and Black comes through quickly. He's not as big as West. He's only 203 pounds, but he gives you a little more quickness there. It's a little changeup, and it's working.
1st and 10. Black again. Wrapped up by Chapman after a gain of maybe a couple. Black from St. Louis, Missouri. Went to Tennessee State, went to JUCO for a while. And his eligibility over 3,000 yards in high school. Devin West on the sidelines the last 2 series, Tim, and he had a little bit of an injured ankle last week and was icing it all week. When we came in on Thursday, well, he had a big ice pack on it.
You can see it got taped too on the sidelines. They taped over his shoe. Nation's 4th leading rusher. He goes out.
Quick drop. Jones, good coverage downfield. Corby throws this one away, but throws it right to Butler. Jeremetrius Butler with an interception, and that was a gift from Corby Jones.
That really was a gift. I think Corby Jones was trying to throw it away and didn't throw it far enough. Boy, that is a terrible play, and he knows it. He'd love to have that one back. He's got time. He looks, but there's coverage. All right, so now he rolls, but he feels the pressure, and so he says, I'm going to throw it away, and just kind of flips it out there. I mean, if you're playing safety, you got to say, hey, Butler, here's one for you.
I'm not sure he ever saw Butler, but he's got to make sure he gets that one out of bounds.
Oh, way out of bounds. That was 5 yards inbounds.
The Wildcats take over. Bishop throws to a wide open McDonald at midfield. Takes 2 to bring him down. Darnell McDonald with his 4th catch of the afternoon. He had 12 last week in the win over Nebraska.
Terry, if you're going to make an upset against a team as powerful as Kansas State, if you're going to come back and try to win on your home field, you cannot make plays like Corby Jones just made.
And you know Kansas State is great in the 3rd quarter, 113 points this year. They've only given up 13. They come out of the locker room charging.
You want to keep the hands out of the ball out of Bishop's hands as much as possible.
Bishop looks one way, throws the other. He's got Lockett. Makes the move and gets down to the 42. But a good tackle that time by Carlos Posey.
See, and eventually the defense is going to start wearing down too, because they've been on the field a long time, most of this quarter.
A gain of 7 on the play, so it brings up 2nd and 3. Frank Murphy goes down. You got to stay there. The knee touched even before the defense got to him. Justin Wyatt there just to make sure.
And this now becomes a huge 3rd down play for the Missouri defense. You've got to make sure that there is containment on Bishop. You've got to make sure that McDonald and Lockett are covered up, and you've got to try to get some pressure up the middle.
Missouri able to create turnovers. They lead the Big 12 with 5 defensive touchdowns. Right now they're just trying to stop Michael Bishop, though.
There are your 2 receivers right there, Lockett and McDonald.
Out of the gun.
That's where he's looking.
Over the middle, he's got a man at the 33-yard line. There is McDonald with a catch.
You know, if you're on defense, you got to know where their money guys are, where their go-to guys are, and McDonald's their leading receiver. He lines up in twins up the top. You got to cover him. He's the top guy, far side. Now watch. He just runs a little curl, sets underneath the zone, and comes back and gets the ball. If you're in a zone, it doesn't mean you have to be passive. Zone and passive are not synonymous.
Now, and I think passive and tired often are, though.
That's true.
Right side of the line moved, and Michael Bishop never got the football. Flags everywhere.
Prior to the snap, false start, offense, 5 yards, repeat 1st down.
Thomas Barnett, the right tackle, saying that's the only time you guys call my name. 10th penalty, of the day. Isn't that the truth, though? Made some big blocks. We haven't said his name yet. And then he moves and we point him out.
Sounded like Seinfeld.
No glory for an offensive lineman. Flanker screen. Here goes Lockett with room and with great speed. Perkins wraps him up and throws him to the turf. And I don't see a penalty flag anywhere. And let's go to New York right now and check in with John Saunders. John?
Terry, time for the Burger King play of the day from the Florida State game. Marcus Outten, the youngster, might have been picked here by Manuel, but it goes into the hands of Peter Warwick. He does the rest of the work. 32 yards he covers for the touchdown for Outten, his first touchdown pass of his career. 13-12 is the lead. Meanwhile, UCLA with a 10-point lead over USC. Terry, back to you.
All right, John, thank you. This one very much in doubt. 126 and counting.
You know, I'm not sure Lockett didn't fumble his ball. A lot of folks here thought so. Here's the tackle on the outside. Ball's still going. He's still trying to drive and make ground. So he throws him to the ground. The ball is out. That should have been a fumble.
Well, he landed right on his helmet, too. But you're right. The ball was out before he went to the ground.
Now, Missouri wouldn't have gotten it. The ball went out of bounds. But instead of the ball being marked where it is, it would have been marked all the way back by the 35-yard line.
Kansas State has called a timeout, and that's the second timeout that they've burned in the second half. So we're still in the third quarter, and they've only got one left. Well, Sunday night on ESPN, Sunday Night Football. The Saints, Mike Ditka, Kerry Collins against Jerry Rice and the 49ers. And then here on ABC, Monday Night Football, Dan Marino leading the Dolphins. An AFC East showdown with the New England Patriots at 8 o'clock Eastern time. Right here on ABC.
Second down and 4, and had that fumble been ruled correctly, it would have been like 2nd and 8, 2nd and 9.
Kansas State dominating statistically here in the second half. So it is 2nd and 4 for Bill Snyder's club. Goolsby and Murphy out of the eye. There goes Frank Murphy trying to get outside. Perkins bounced them out behind the line of scrimmage.
Coach is talking to Murphy right now saying, hey, listen, we don't need any penalties here. He got bounced out of bounds, and when he got bounced out of bounds, a little frustration, just kind of took a shot at a defender. Watch this. Good pursuit. String it out. Boom. All right, now he's out of bounds here. Now watch. Gives him a little push, and the coach says, hey, get over here. We don't need any penalties here.
And you hear this crowd maybe as loud as they have been in the second half on 3rd and 8.
Here's the guy.
Penalty markers down in the secondary, Tim. Thrown very early.
Defensively, you got to be looking for number 80 McDonald and 22
Dead
Lockett.
ball, illegal substitution, Kansas State. 5-yard penalty, still 3rd down.
Looked like Aaron Lockett may have come in late after they broke the huddle, which is not allowed.
Has not been what we normally see out of Kansas State. It's a mistake-free football for the most part of this season. That's why they're number 1 in the nation. But today they've had turnovers and they've had penalties.
Having said that, they've been good enough to put 24 points on the board and lead. Play action for Bishop. Flushed out, steps up, guns it to Lockett. Incomplete. Double covered. Down to the end zone.
Boy, he has a strong arm, doesn't he? And like a catcher throwing down a second, he just flicks his wrist and the ball is out of there.
When you look at prospects for the next level, is there anyone in college football who can match this guy?
No. Arm-wise, strength-wise, mobility-wise, no. Absolutely not. Watch this. Play action. Now he jumps up in the pocket. Now watch this. Just flick of the wrist, and he throws it 50 yards. Unfortunately, the receiver was at 45.
Garcia to Artie Johnson from his own 11. Not much room to operate. Keith Black, backup cornerback, made the tackle. Only a 25-yard punt, but that's what Garcia was trying to do.
Okay, that was a big stop defensively, though, because Missouri is still down by only 8 points. Jones is banged up. Devin West is banged up. This is going to be a gutsy performance from Missouri to make some positives happen now.
And it is Devon Black who is back in at tailback. We have seen him on the last 3 series, and we get word that Devin West, they have taken him to the locker room to retape the ankle, but we do expect to see him again.
Jones is banged up. Devin West is banged up. This is going to be a gutsy performance from Missouri to make some positives happen now.
And it is Devon Black who is back in at tailback. We have seen him on the last 3 series, and we get word that Devin West, they have taken him to the locker room to retape the ankle, but we do expect to see him again. Play action on first down. Throwing long. Dossman is there. He makes the catch. The diving catch by John Dossman. And what a throw from Corby Jones.
What a game Dossman is having. That's his 4th catch today. He came into this game with only 12 receptions, but this one, it's laid out there perfectly by Jones. Now look at the extension, the body lean, and the catch by Dossman. A gain of 37 yards, his 4th catch of the game, and that one is huge.
Every time it looks like Missouri is down and out, that they have no momentum, the spirit is gone from this stadium, they come back with a big play. Jones under pressure, throws off his back foot. Kareem Wise is there, but a wise throw that time from Corby Jones. He got rid of it.
I think that's what he meant to do the last time they had the football, when he threw the interception to Butler. You know, Corby Jones right now, as much as he looks like he's limping, as much as he looks shaken up, he's still, once that ball is snapped, he's at full speed. He's at full tilt.
Yeah.
It's like he blocks it out and he makes things happen.
Final 30 seconds of the 3rd quarter. Eric Spencer in motion this time. Give it to Black. He's got a hole. Devon Black's got a first down. Black to the 25. Chapman brought him down, but not before Devon Black, the junior out of St. Louis, gains 24 yards.
Cliff Smith and Benton came up with some big blocks. The fullback Benton, and there's Smith, 70. Now watch this. They clear the way. They lock in. Look at 70 push out of there. Benton gets the block. And Black turns it loose. And again, it's Chapman that saves things. There's the block by the fullback Benton on the right, and left is Smith. He ought to go back to the huddle and shake their hands. They opened up a hole. Terry Gannon could have gotten through.
Don't go too far, partner. Final seconds of the 3rd quarter ticking off. And it is a ball game in Columbia, Missouri. 24-16, Kansas State leads, but the Tigers on the move. We're back after this message and a word from our ABC stations.
This is ABC Sports, home of the Bowl Championship Series.
The final 15 minutes of play about to get underway here at Faurot Field in Columbia, Missouri. And the Tigers trying to pull off what may be their biggest win ever. They have never beaten a #1 team. And they are on the move right now. Corby Jones, his last quarter at home for the Missouri Tigers.
Wants to get them up and get them going before the defense is even set.
Devin West back in the ball game. He's been out with the injured ankle, and he may have drawn the Wildcats offside.
You know, I think he did that on purpose. They came up. The defense wasn't on the field. Look at him clapping. He got him up to the line of scrimmage with 15 on the play clock. The defense comes scrambling out, and they gave him a hard count.
Offside defense.
Drew him off.
5 yards. First down.
So now 1st and 10 goes to 1st and 5, and it's like running downhill. And I'll tell you something else right now. With Devin West hurt, Devon Black has come in and given this club a huge lift. He now has 5 carries for almost 50 yards.
And West back in now, so now you've got 2 weapons back there that you go to that you can count on in this game and you feel confident with. 1st and 5. Dossman in motion. That's who Jones is looking for. He's there. Touchdown. Wow. A huge day for John Dossman. 5 catches and none bigger than this.
Terry, when you run an option, it's individual defense. Now watch. Stop it right here. It looks like he's coming in. He's going back out, and Butler slips. He goes outside. He's wide open, and Jones sees it, and he just lays it up. He doesn't have to lead him. He knows Butler's on the ground, and he just makes sure the ball is there where he can catch it.
It is a 2-point game. Remember the missed extra point early in the game. And so Missouri will go for 2. Rob West in at fullback. Devin West, the tailback, out of the eye. Jones on the roll under pressure. Throws back and incomplete. That's just good defense. Kansas State all over that play. So as we open up the final quarter of play, national championship hopes for Kansas State. They're on the line. Corby Jones trying to pull off the upset. Corby Jones, an emotional day. Senior day, his last effort here in Columbia. He told us his thoughts would be on his father, Curtis, who passed away this past summer all day long. Right now, he's got a shot at pulling off a huge upset. The pooch kick taken at the 28. Terrell Williams called for the fair catch.
I think the official just gave an extra yard where he marked it too. Called the fair catch and then just jumped forward a couple steps, and the official put it down where he stopped.
This has been a game, Tim, that has gone back and forth. The emotions, the momentum throughout the day.
Terry, you just had the feeling coming into this game that the stars were aligned, that Missouri would be in it to the end, and an upset was very possible. I mean, the miracle in Manhattan last week, you know, probably still got the hangover from all the celebration.
Goolsby, the fullback. That's a load going over the right side. He's got a gain of about 9 before Al Sterling can bring him down.
And Missouri came into this game knowing that they were going to play well, that they could hang with them, that they'd give them a ball game, and at the end, if it was close, they would have the reality that they could possibly upset them.
Yeah, they told us they really believe that they were the best team that Kansas State has faced all year, and they believe that they were going to be in it in the last couple of minutes.
And to be honest, Kansas State has helped them today with penalties and turnovers.
Bishop fighting his way for the first down. Finally brought down at the 42. Justin Smith, and it took a couple of others, too, to bring him down.
Michael Bishop is not a pure drop-back guy. He's not a true option guy. He's not a straight-ahead runner guy, but he's a phenomenal athlete. That's a great combination of all those things. He is just a tremendous player. He's a running back playing quarterback. Other times he looks just like a pure drop-back passer. He's one of the best athletes, all-around athletes, talented athletes I think I've seen.
And has played his way into the Heisman race. Ricky Williams, the front runner, but an informal poll of the coaches in the Big 12 picked Michael Bishop as the top offensive player in the league. He throws on the run, underthrows Lockett.
If there is a weakness right now with Bishop, it's that he tries to make too much happen. Very rarely will you see him stay in the pocket and throw. Although he's gotten better at that as he's matured and he's taken some things off his the power of his pass, and he's become more accurate. But occasionally he'll do that. He'll just try to roll and he'll throw it out and he'll miss a guy that's open.
And with 1 interception today, he's only thrown 3 interceptions all season long. So you know he has gotten better at that.
Does not make many mistakes.
2nd and 10 out of the gun. Throws. Lockett has it. Near a first down. He got there. Now here's a flag at the end.
And it's going to be a late hit. He pushed him when he was already out of bounds, I believe. Looked like Posey got over there and pushed him.
Again,
dead ball. Personal foul on the defense. 15 yards. First down.
That's a tough play as a defender. I can remember playing games like that where a guy would beat me to the sideline and you don't want him to cut up on you. You want to make sure he's out of bounds, and you're coming full speed. Now watch Posey, number 5, gets to the sideline. See, I think that's a bad call. He's in bounds. There is no way a flag should be thrown on that play. Absolutely no way. You're right. That is a bad call.
Well, if a player is still in play and you hit him, it's tough to see a flag thrown there.
But if you don't hit him, he can cut it up.
Absolutely. Quick drop, quarterback draw, down goes Bishop. Marquis Gibson all over Michael Bishop.
Been waiting for Gibson to make that play all day. They move him around. They try to take advantage of his speed and his athleticism. JUCO All-American comes off the backside corner. Now watch him chase down Bishop and make the play from behind. He's certainly capable of doing that. We saw him miss a tackle earlier because he didn't break down, didn't come under control. That time, chased him from behind and just threw him to the ground.
Just doesn't come out of the game, Marquis Gibson. Bishop under wraps again. This time it's Justin Smith, the freshman who they call Godzilla.
One of the nation's top freshmen. He's 6'5", 267 pounds. There he is. Watch what he does. He gets locked up with the tight end Swift, but he sees Bishop start to scramble, releases the block, comes down and makes the tackle. It's going to be 3rd down and 13.
But this is where, after you've stopped him a couple of times, that Michael Bishop comes up with a big play. 6 out of 10 on 3rd downs today. Out to Burnett. He wants to throw it back to Bishop. Michael wide open, and it goes through his hands.
Oh, my. Oh, my. That play was set up perfectly, and there was nobody near Bishop.
And Everett Burnett really didn't even have to lead Michael Bishop. There is a penalty marker. And now they pick it up.
Wow.
So they pick up the flag.
And Kansas State will have to punt. But watch this. Here's the throwback. He looks downfield. Now he's going to throw it back to Bishop, and there's not a soul over here. Nobody within 15, 20, 25 yards of Bishop, and he can't hold on to the football.
Garcia trying to pin in the Tigers down at the 1-yard line, and they're going to do it. Inside the 5, they're going to call it the 3. A 32-yard punt, but it was Jeremetrius Butler who got down there to back the Tigers up deep. .12:06 left in this one. Kansas State with a 2-point lead. Missouri's got to go better than 95 yards.
This ball was going into the end zone. Watch the play by Jeremetrius Butler. Right at the goal line, just takes it and knocks it back, and now Missouri's backed up. You know, Butler's had one of those games where he's had great plays, and he's had some plays he'd like to have back. Dossman beat him on the touchdown, but then he comes back, and he makes that play at the goal line and backs Missouri up at the 2.
He and Dossman have battled throughout the entire day. Devin Weston at tailback once again. First down from the 3. Play action. Jones wants Dossman over the middle and broken up. There's your guy. Butler got a hand up.
All day they've been battling, and they've each won some and lost some. Butler lost the touchdown. He comes back and he gets that one right after he made the play at the goal line to keep the punt from going through. Now watch these two. They've been bumping and grinding all day. Dossman goes up and has it in his hands, and Butler just kind of flips it away.
Looked like Dossman just couldn't get his footing, and it's becoming softer and softer over the middle of the field. This is a very soft turf anyway.
Here's your matchup again.
Short drop. Jones throws out, knocked down, almost picked off. Chris Johnson, I believe, the man who got a hand up.
I'd go back to Dossman. Again, Dossman is, he's gotten the best at times of Butler.
This is not a situation you want to be in if you're Missouri, because you know the Wildcats are coming.
And you know you don't have a strong leg punter. You know the kicking game has been shaky at best. And if they throw this time, they're throwing from the end zone. You don't want to give them a safety.
They are going to throw. Jones throws it away and throws it 20 yards deep out of bounds. And there's no penalty marker anywhere.
No, that's because they had Blakely in the vicinity. He wasn't very close, but at least the tight end was over there, so they can get away without the flag. He originally was looking for Dossman here. Dossman was crossing the middle. All right, now he looks at him, but he's covered. See, here he is right down the bottom there. So now he throws it away, and here's your tight end over there.
That's a wide vicinity. And that would have been a safety. And a nice play by Corby just to get rid of it.
First thing you got to do here is make sure you catch the snap, and then you got to get it out of there.
Vince Sebo gets it away. That's his best punt. But it takes a Kansas State bounce. And down at the 37-yard line. So not a good bounce at all after Sebo got away his best of the afternoon, a 35-yarder. And while we have a moment, a reminder that at the conclusion of today's game, we will select the Chevrolet Most Valuable Player of the game from each team. In recognition of these athletes, Chevrolet will make a contribution to each school's general scholarship fund. Could be the defining series of the game, Tim, with 11:39 left and a 2-point lead for Kansas State. Great field position. Quarterback draw out of the shotgun. Michael Bishop down to the 24-yard line. And that will move the chains.
Right now you are in Grammatica's range, so you know that. They've got a first down and you want to keep it with Bishop. Bishop's your money guy. So they run the quarterback draw, design play, gets great blocking. They seal off the inside, and he breaks the tackle, and finally Odom takes him down. But again, you want to keep the ball with Bishop. And if he throws, you know he's going to Lockett and McDonald.
75 yards on the ground today for Michael Bishop, including a touchdown run. Again out of the shotgun. They're going to run the quarterback draw. This time to the outside. Bishop with a cutback and a gain of about 8. And they're just going to give it to Michael Bishop and say, you win it.
It's a 2-point game with 11 minutes to go. And Bill Snyder saying, national championship hopes are on the line. This is what we're playing for. We're trying to chase Tennessee and UCLA. We're going to keep it with Bishop. He's our All-American. He's the guy that can get us up there to number 1 or 2.
And, of course, the Dr. Pepper Big 12 championship game here on ABC against Texas A&M. And that will help them in terms of strength of schedule. Ironic, because people said initially, well, you play that extra game, it's going to hurt you. But Kansas State, of course, needs that game to try to get back in the strength of schedule category. Bishop fighting for a first down. It looks like he got it. Had to cross the 15. Hatton Ngushi wrapped him up there.
So they move the chains again, and now we're down to 10.5 minutes to play. Now, when this starts happening, the defense starts thinking just like we do. Bill Snyder's giving him the green light to keep the ball in his hands. But what happens when that happens, as you look at his numbers, is all of a sudden you start thinking about Bishop, and that's when he'll hit you with a pass.
As he's trying to do here. Throws it incomplete. That was Justin Swift, the tight end.
Well, I tell you, that's a smart play by Odom, who picked the ball up and ran with it because he wanted to make sure that it wasn't a lateral, which it was.
But it was not.
Or a fumble.
Bishop under a lot of pressure. Fortunate just to get that ball out to Swift. Second and 10. Here comes the crowd again. Bishop scrambling and back to the 15. That's it. Al Sterling again in on Michael Bishop.
That'll bring up third down, and Bishop was looking to McDonald because they had McDonald locked up on Posey. That's a mismatch. McDonald's almost 6'4". Posey is about 5'10 and a half. He's looking to the left at McDonald, but there's good coverage. So again, he tries to buy some time, runs into his own guy, and once he runs into Handley, the defense has a chance to get him.
Frank Murphy now in at tailback.
I think the crowd knows this is it too. Huge play. And another timeout for Kansas State. Play clock was down to 1.
And that's it. They burned their last timeout with 9:25 left in the game. We'll take one too. Third down and 11 coming up for Kansas State. They have taken their last timeout.
And that's huge, Terry. It's a 2-point game. 9.5 minutes still remain in this ball game. If Missouri can make a stop here on third or even hold them to a field goal, that timeout situation becomes huge. Kansas State has none left.
Goolsby and Murphy out of the eye. Play action for Bishop. Plenty of time. Running out of it. Inside the 5. Bishop scrambling inside the 4, and he should have a first down.
Moot point now. Boy, if they need a play, who comes up with it? Bishop. He is spectacular. Design pass, not great play action, but he feels the pressure both sides. And now watch him create. Looks to the outside, looks to the inside. Breaks a tackle and spins all the way down just past the first down marker. See it there in the distance?
Needed 11.
Just enough.
He got 12. He knew where he needed to get. You're right. First and goal for Bill Snyder's club. Charles fighting his way. Frank Murphy close to the goal line and stopped there. Murphy has been so active. He came out, of course, from Marlon Charles, who went out with what we think was a hip injury. And, of course, Eric Hickson
first
suited up but did not play.
This drive that Bishop wasn't involved in holding the ball.
Yep. Second and goal. Murphy hit. Still up. He gets to the ball. Touchdown. The ball squirted loose when he was hit, and Murphy wouldn't give up. You cannot ask an individual to do more than that.
Boy, Missouri had its chance. The ball was loose. Watch this. He takes it off the right tackle, has a lead blocker, but when he's hit, he's stripped. Now look, the ball's in the end zone. Look who's Crab walking after it. It's Murphy. Great hustle. Makes the recovery. Touchdown, Kansas State. So he does a my bad by letting the ball go and does a my good by coming in and recovering it for the score.
He's going to drive Bill Snyder crazy at the fumble last week. And then fumbles this one, but makes up for it. Gramatica on for the extra point. So the Wildcats extend their lead. 31-22, 8:28 left.
America Online.
8:28 left in Columbia, Missouri. And if Missouri is going to come back, they may need to do it on this drive. Corby Jones getting ready on the sidelines.
You sure have that feeling, Terry, that this is the drive that's either going to make or break Missouri in this ball game.
Ricardo Rhodes from his 4. Tried to go outside, but hemmed in. Milton Proctor did a nice job of keeping him inside.
Coaches now have to evaluate what's been successful in the game and what hasn't been. And certainly one of the things that they have to think about is John Dossman working against Butler. That has been successful. Now, Butler's had some that he's won, but Dossman's got the height advantage. He's made some great catches. And on the fade pattern, it's a fairly safe play to throw.
The numbers on Corby Jones, almost 200 yards in the air, a couple of touchdowns. He has thrown the 1 interception. Trying to drive from his own 24 now. West and West out of the eye. Option. Devin West turning the corner, got room up the near sideline. Devin West to midfield. Lamar Chapman knocked him out of bounds. And time after time, Missouri has come back with a big play.
Now with formation, they got the defense exactly where they wanted it. They sent twins to this side. There's very little coverage on this side, so they go that way. Now watch this. They come down, they get the block on the corner, And now there's another block by the fullback, and this is wide open down the sidelines. Well-designed play, and they set it up with a formation that sent 2 receivers to the opposite side to take the linebackers.
No rest for Devin West. 63 yards on the afternoon. Option pass. Under pressure off his back foot. Dossman's out there. Triple covered. And now a flag.
Cooper saying, why should it be an interference call? But it is. He wasn't going for the ball. Although Cooper says he was going for the ball.
That's what he's saying right now.
So we'll take a look at it. Watch the end of this. It's called a number 40 White.
Pass interference.
See if he looks back for the ball. He does.
15 yards. First down.
Well, I don't know. I don't think that's pass interference at all. Cooper's got a good call going there when he says, I was looking for the ball.
Kelly just slammed Corby Jones to the turf. Probably never saw the end of it.
No, but he saw the flag. Look at this. I think that would have been a good no call. Cooper has every right to that football.
And he did turn back
He
to the
sure
ball.
did. He sure did. He stumbled and went down low, and I thought that's why he wasn't looking back for the ball, but he was.
First down at the 32 now. Jones looks for a seam, finds one, gets away from McIntyre. Corby Jones with a first down. Run out of bounds just outside the 20. And the Tigers on the move again.
Corby Jones has an extra burst of speed. He'll come down and he'll cut it up at one speed, but if he feels like he's going to get hit, he kind of just explodes and gets into the next level. Good read, good read, good read. Is he going to pitch it? No, because they're all sliding down to the pitch man. So he tries to race it to the corner of the chains and just gets inside the marker there for the first. Run out by Chapman.
Damian McIntosh had an angle on him, and he just took off. Give it to the fullback, West. Pulling his way inside the 5 to the 3.
What a drive this is. I think everybody in the stadium knew that this was the drive that was either going to make it or break it for Missouri. And the offense has just taken charge. Defense looking for the option again. They give it to the dive man. And I mean, folks, that is some power. Rob West, 240 pounds, just rolling down there.
18 yards, and it's just outside the 3-yard line. First and goal for Larry Smith's club. Both fullbacks in now with Devin West, the tailback. They fake the dive. Jones trying to throw it away, and he does. Had Blakely, the tight end, there near the pylon, but I don't think he was even trying to hit him. Making sure that he threw it away.
Again, Butler there on the coverage. He's going to be one tired young man. Shirt out. Stains all over him. I'm telling you, he's played a heck of a ball game.
Yeah, he's given up some big plays, but for as much as they've tested him.
But you know what's good? He gives up a touchdown. He comes back. He scratches. He claws. He stays in the ball game. They make positive things happen.
Benton, West, and West. Full house backfield. Here comes the option. The pitch to Devin West. Cuts back, nowhere to go. Stopped at the 3-yard line. Jeff Kelly and Travis Oaks, as good as they get.
When the field gets short, it actually gets better for the defense. Very tough to make goal line stands, but it's more difficult for the offense to maneuver because they don't have as much yardage there, much ground, much real estate. As long as you can keep containment and keep that middle, boy, I tell you what, you can support it. I've got to believe here, if they don't get the touchdown here, they'll go for it on 4th.
Didn't do it earlier in the game, but that's what they've been doing in the second half of the year. Jones fights his way to the 2. That's it. And we will see if it is 4-down territory. Mark Semino that time, the other great linebacker, on the hit.
I thought for a second he was going to get in. Right here, it opens up, and it looks like he's going to get it. But a great play by Semino, who dove and got him around the waist and just held him long enough for Pursuit to come and help. Here it is, folks.
This could be the game. You've got 6:08 and counting. A lot of time, but you got to believe Missouri's got to score. Long count. There goes Corby Jones racing to the end zone. Touchdown, but there is a flag down at the 4-yard line.
It's going to be on Chris Meredith, number 64 from Missouri. Now you got to go for the field goal, I would think.
And that is exactly what it is.
Watch 64 right there. Now watch him. He's dancing. He's
Missouri
dancing. Still looks like a good block. Still looks like a good block.
Holding on the play. We'll replay 4th down. 10-yard
I don't know.
penalty.
That looks like good blocking to me. Did you see his arms extend beyond the shoulder pads and wrap?
Tough to tell if he extended the arms or not.
Don't know.
Just outside our view.
I'm not sure you make that call. You don't want to decide the game.
But it's going to force Missouri now to try for the field goal. Ryan Long from 28 yards. It's been a harrowing experience all season long. But this one is up and good. Long puts 3 on the board, so it's a 6-point game.
And still plenty of time. Again, look at the blocking. Look at the right hand of the screen. Still looks like a good block to me.
Well, don't know what that right arm was doing. You may be right. It's tough to tell.
Should have been a touchdown.
ABC Sports presentation of college football brought to you by Chrysler, engineered to be. So you perhaps were right, but remember the call on Kareem Wise early in the game when his foot was out of bounds on the touchdown catch that went against Kansas State, and now they get one in return.
And Terry, I think there's still plenty of time left in this ball game. 5:49. You're down by a touchdown. I mean, this for these fans in Missouri has been just a fantastic ball game. Kansas State, the #1 team in the nation, is still on the ropes.
High pooch kick again. No fair catch this time. Across the 30 and out to the 42. Run out of bounds is Brandon Clark. Well, a big day today, obviously, in college football, but it continues Friday, live at 11 a.m. Eastern, 8 a.m. Pacific, right here. The number 7 and number 19 Nebraska, 2:30 Eastern time. Great lineup. All sports.
Once again, the Missouri defense finds itself with poor field position, and Bishop's the ball carrier.
There goes Michael Bishop to the outside.
Terry, when you think about Missouri and their special teams, they don't have a guy that can kick off. And so Larry Smith goes to the pooch kick because he's got a guy that can do it consistently, and you think you'll be able to cover. Well, this time they don't call the fair catch. They get the ball up to the 42-yard line. And, you know, for Kansas State, it's like running downhill now because they're starting up near midfield with the offense.
You know, they've averaged starting at their own 40 as opposed to what Missouri's had to do.
That is huge and has definitely been the difference in the ball game as far as that the offensive series is.
With so much pressure on the defense. Frank Murphy cutting back and up across midfield, maybe to the 49 into Missouri territory. Jamani Robinson, the freshman, brought him down. More and more of the load on the shoulders of Frank Murphy today. Rick DiCarino post-game report coming up after the game with John Saunders and Todd Blackledge, if time permits. Scores and highlights of all the rivalries today. Florida, Florida State, USC, UCLA. Michael Bishop on what may have been a broken play gets a first down. Looked like he was looking for a running back initially.
You know, I don't think so. I think it was just a fake, and he followed him up. I think the ball is going to stay in Michael Bishop's hands just like it did the last drive.
Well, he got me then. They'll move the chains regardless. And whether it stays in his hands or not, the game is in his hands right now.
You know, they call him Slash. Well, that time he did slash forward for that first down. I mean, he's just so strong. Goes in where there are no holes and creates. Same play other side.
Keeps it this way now to the 42. Gain of about 4. Aldrin Easter, the strong safety, made the hit. Time continues to run.
Still plenty of time for Missouri, but Missouri's defense has to make a stop. They've got to force him to punt.
Michael Bishop now 20 carries for 108 yards, and they are 29-0 when someone rushes for 100 yards plus. This one out to McDonald. He comes back to make the catch. 2 yards short of a first down, maybe 3.
Well, that's all bad for the defense, because not only are they 2 yards short of the first down, but you're getting down into Grammatica's area, and even a field goal now makes it a 2-score ball game, 2-possession ball game, and that's not good with 3.5 minutes left.
Those extra points, the missed extra point early, and then they went for 2, didn't get it. How large do those loom? 3rd down and 2. Missouri needs a big stop. Bishop to keep it. Wrapped up at the 39, brought down by Justin Smith.
Wow.
Not only stopping Bishop, but throwing him for a loss.
What they did is drag this play out. Watch, they string it out, Containment conscious. All right, now they come forward. They look outside. They've got flood control outside. He tries to cut it up. Pursuit's coming. That's a big-time defensive play.
And Missouri has now called a timeout. 4th down coming up. And they've got 1 left in the game. Kansas State out of timeouts. It was James Garcia, the punter, coming on, not Martin Gramatica, to try a field goal. What would it be? About a 57-yard field goal.
Even with the wind at his back, you don't want to ask him to do that here, because if he misses, that's not good either. And you give him Missouri good field position.
And Garcia has been great at keeping him inside the 10-yard line.
Well, and that's what I mean. With a punt, you can back him up and try to get him down inside the 15 or the 10.
It's a big stop from Larry Smith's defense, though.
Folks, this is interesting. 3:14 to play. And the #1 team in the nation has only a 6-point lead, and Missouri has the football.
Well, they're about to get it, but you know how special teams has gone for Missouri this year.
Well, that's true, too.
There's Garcia. Artie Johnson back deep for Missouri at his own 10. Long count. And there go the penalty markers again. There are 8 seconds left on the play clock, though, so it's not that.
You know, I don't know if Missouri was drawn, but somebody was in the neutral zone.
What do you have?
They may have been drawn.
False start. Offense, 5 yards.
So 3 minutes and 11 seconds.
Penalty has declined.
Here at Burrell
Still
Field. Sold out days in advance. Terry Gannon, Tim Brandt, and the #1 team in the nation. Only a 6-point lead and about to give the ball back to the Missouri Tigers.
Kansas State is on the ropes. Kansas State has not been able to generate offense in this series. Now they've got to punt it. They get moved back by a penalty. They'll try to pooch this thing down. Missouri has shaky special teams, though.
James Garcia on for the punt. Artie Johnson calling for the fair catch. Down to inside the 5. That's going to roll dead at the 1-yard line. Inside the 1. The second consecutive time that Kansas State has downed a punt inside the 5. Keith Black, the man who got down there this time.
Wow, that is huge. That is huge. He was in the end zone, I thought. Watch this. Watch the end of this. See if the ball crosses the plane. He makes the stop.
Never did. It was Jeremetrius Butler who did it the last time, and now Keith Black. So all Missouri has to do, and Corby Jones, is go 99 yards with 3:04 left. The numbers on Jones, almost 200 yards in the air. Out of the shotgun, they split the backs. Plenty of time out of his own end zone. Dossman one-on-one. This time with Carter. There's contact. No flag. The Missouri coaches wanted one.
Both players bumping and grinding all the way down the field. Both players looking back for the football, and the field judge was right on it. A lot of bumping and grinding, both looking back for the football, and both have that right. A good defensive back is going to use that sideline, and he's going to try to gain leverage, squeeze the receiver into that sideline almost like an extra player, and just sandwich him. And he did it, and it was played well.
And I'm not sure it was a catchable ball anyway, but that's a tough judgment call to make. 5th straight incomplete pass, though, from Corby Jones. Wants to run it this time on the quarterback draw. Gets them some room out to the 6. Semino in on the stop. 2:50 and counting.
Somehow Missouri has to come up with a big play here to have a shot. They really haven't had the big play that just breaks it in this ball game. You've had Dossman come up and he's made some good catches, and Corby Jones broke 2 for about 15 yards, but they need to really go deep here, and the guy that's been able to do that for him is Dossman.
Only one timeout left for the Tigers. 3 receivers set now. Short drop to Kareem Wise, but that one's broken up. What a play by Dyshad Carter. Timed it perfectly. And that'll bring up 4th down.
Now we saw Larry Smith, Missouri, go for it on 4th down earlier. Look at this defensive play. Great break on the football. He almost had the interception, but Missouri's going to go for it on 4th. And this is the ball game.
Got to get to just outside the 10. They're going to call it 4th and 3 for Corby Jones in his last game at home here in Columbia. And a chance to upset number 1. He wants to run for it. Jones fighting his way. He's got a 1st down. Travis Oaks wrapped him up, but a little bit late.
Design play, quarterback draw. Jones, the leading rusher for them today. Now watch this. Gets set, looks, finds the lane. He can pick the alley he wants. And got just enough, knew where the 1st down marker was, extended his arms and got the 1st. Last 4 losses. Look at this. 15 games. The 4 losses of A&M, Nebraska, Ohio State, Nebraska, all top 10. And of course that bottom Nebraska's last year, that phenomenal miracle play.
Missouri has never beaten a number 1 team. Dossman is out there. The pass underthrown, but what a catch.
Do you believe it?
John Dossman has been spectacular all day long. His 6th catch of the afternoon.
Working on Dyshad Carter. Dossman is 6'2", Carter's just 5'10". There's a height advantage there. And again, Jones just kind of floats it out there. But look at Dossman rather go up and make that catch and use his height advantage. Fantastic catch.
33 yards, Tim. 149 and counting. Jones to Wise. He's got the catch. To the 36. They'll move the chains again. The clock will stop.
Still no hurry. 1:42 to go.
"34 straight times Missouri has lost to top 10 teams. 1981, the last time they've had a win over one.
Missouri scored 2 touchdowns in the last 2 minutes of the 1st half.
Out of the shotgun, Jones under pressure to Kareem Wise through his hands. Carter made a nice play, but Kareem Wise had a chance to make the catch.
I'll tell you this, Carter made a nice break on the ball, but missed it. It went right through his hands. Wise actually should have had it, but was blocked out by Carter. Just lost it for just a second, and that was enough to miss it.
Bill Snyder, the turnaround has been amazing in Manhattan, what he's been able to do. He has them on the brink. He finally beat Nebraska. After 29 years, Kansas State got the win last week. Trying to get back up to that emotional level this week. A lot of mistakes early on kept Missouri in it. 2nd down, quick drop. Throws, incomplete. Eric Spencer, the intended receiver.
Terry, and again, Spencer was open. The ball was a little bit behind him, but that ball has to be caught. They have 1 timeout remaining and 1:26 to play. Plenty of time, but watch this. He separates from the defender. Now here comes the ball. It's a little bit behind him, but that ball's got to be caught. He's got to make that catch. It was catchable. All right, now the thing that has been successful, we go back to it, is Dossman. And there he is right there. You got the height advantage, and he's made some great catches today. He's been your go-to guy.
3rd and 10. Jones to Wise, hit, incomplete. Travis Oaks applied the hit, and Wise was right at the first down marker.
That's 3 drops in the last 3 passes. Again, it was catchable. Proctor made a nice play on this defensively and hits him as the ball's being caught, but you got to hang on to that. So again, they go for it on 4th down, and again, I say they've got to be looking for Dossman, their go-to guy. He's been the hot receiver.
4th and 10. Can Corby Jones keep the drive alive?
Dossman.
Whistle it dead. Penalty markers. And John Laurie will sort it out.
Ball start, offense, 5-yard penalty. Repeat, 4th down.
4th and 15.
And so all of a sudden, all the excitement in the stadium, and as loud as it was, now there's silence.
It's been an emotional day and an emotional year for Corby Jones. He lost his father in the summer. His father, Curtis, an assistant coach here at Missouri, died of a heart attack. They used to have a ritual they'd go through before every game. He has missed that. He said today his thoughts would be on his father all day long. 1:19 left.
Timeout.
And Missouri takes its last timeout. Larry Smith knows 4th and 15 is not the best situation to be in, but he knows it's his last shot. He wants to think about this and confer with the offensive coordinators and come up with a play they think can get that first down and keep their hopes alive.
And while we have a moment, let's check in with our New York studios and John Saunders right now. John?
Terry, let's update some scores. Wisconsin is headed to the Rose Bowl, knocking off Penn State 24-3. Tom Burke had a great day with 4 sacks. Arkansas, meanwhile, loses for the 2nd consecutive week. Mississippi State, if they knock off Ole Miss next week, they'll be in the SEC championship game against Tennessee. The Fighting Irish of Notre Dame still with just 1 loss this year. They come back from a big deficit, 39-36. Jarius Jackson, 21 attempts, 13 completions, 276 yards. Tulane and Tobby Mountain, they have yet to lose this year. 10-0, 48-20. Sean King with another big day. Right now, let's take it back out to K-State.
All right, John, Corby Jones, the biggest play of the game coming up. We asked him about his career here in Missouri and what he will remember most.
Being able to spend 3 years with my dad. I think I made a lot of good friends that I'll keep forever. But I think the biggest thing and the biggest reason that that God brought me here was so I could spend those last 3 years with my dad.
They were very close. Corby today walking on the field with his brother and his mother, his uncle.
4th and 15, Terry. The offensive line has got to give him time. The receivers have to separate, and they have to know where those first down markers are.
Jones on 4th down. Plenty of time to Dossman over the middle, incomplete. Lamar Chapman on the coverage, and that may do it. Number 1 has been tested today. They've been taken to the brink, but they may have just survived.
Again, he went for Dossman. They were bumping and grinding, but there was excellent coverage. Overthrew him, didn't give him a shot.
.115 left, and Kansas State takes over.
Got to give him a chance to catch it. Again, he's got the height advantage. You want to put it up high, but not that high. Really didn't give him a chance to make the catch. Good coverage, though. Really good coverage by Kansas State. Kansas State's going to know it was in a war today.
Bishop to one knee. No timeouts remaining for Missouri.
And another heartbreaker for the Tigers.
Corby Jones trying to fight back tears. Well, the Chevrolet most valuable players of the game, Michael Bishop and Corby Jones, the 2 outstanding quarterbacks. For Bishop, 105 yards on the ground, and Corby Jones, 249 in the air. A Chevrolet donation made to each school's general scholarship fund to reward outstanding students with academic achievements and to assist those in financial need. A Chevrolet tradition for more than a quarter of a century. Final seconds of Corby Jones's career here at home, at least, ticking away. They believe they could go to the Alamo Bowl, maybe the Independence Bowl. But Bill Snyder, of course, a chance to go maybe the Tostitos Fiesta Bowl.
Absolutely. Still #1 in the nation. I know the weak schedule that we've talked about has hurt them thus far, but they pick up a win here against Missouri, which is tough. Things are starting to look up for Kansas State. They know that national championship is still within their grasp.
One more major hurdle out of the way with one left. And we'll see if the strength of schedule moves them up.
So proud of these seniors. Got a great defense.
Perfect 10-0, but Kansas State is still ranked only 3rd of the Bowl Series championship rankings. Detractors point to a weak non-conference schedule that included games against Indiana State, Northern Illinois, and Northeast Louisiana. Kansas State against Missouri today, and Missouri coach Larry Smith says, Kansas State is by far the #1 team in the country. I don't care about all that computer stuff. And away we go. Second quarter, it's 10-0 Kansas State. Corby Jones. Play action rolling right. Rolling, and diving in there. Missouri scored again. They would lead 13-10 at the half. Third quarter, tailback Marlon Charles shaken up, leaving on a stretcher, possible hip injury. Starter Eric Hickson out with an ankle sprain. Frank Murphy's got to pick up the slack. And Murphy responds. Michael Bishop to Murphy on the option. In there, 9 yards and a touchdown, 24-13 Wildcats. Later in the third, it's now 24-16. Murphy takes the handoff, runs right. He's coming here. He's going there. Bishop, who ran for 104 yards himself, leads the way out in front. Murphy picking up 48 yards. The third-string tailback finished the game with 65 yards. Fourth quarter, Wildcats up 2. Murphy takes the handoff at the 2. Fumbles the football. Who's got it? It's loose. He's got it for the touchdown. Wildcats up 31-22. Missouri last chance, down 5, 4th and 3, about 2:20 to go. Jones keeps it up the middle. 3 yards, first down. Next play, Jones throws deep. John Dossman leaping 34 yards, another first down. Very next play, Jones hits Kareem Wise. First down all the way down to the 36-yard line. 4th and 15, though. Jones looking deep. Just over a minute to go. Incomplete on 4th and 15, and Kansas State wins it 31-25. So K-State now 11-0. They'll carry a 19-game winning streak into the Big 12 title game against Texas A&M on December 5th. K-State coach Bill Snyder has now won 77 games in his 10 years. That equals the school's total for the 30 years prior to his arrival. Missouri has now lost 35 straight games to top 10 opponents.
Well, our players just want to play. I think they're like players. They're all across the country. You know, they don't like all the things that go on around them and all the criticism, et cetera, but they don't want to deal with it. They just want to play. They just want to line up, play, be a college student, go to class, get a good education, play football, have fun doing it, go home.
Tim Couch and the Kentucky Wildcats paying the respects. The truck crash last Sunday that killed Arthur Steinmetz and Scott Brock and injured Jason Watts. Tennessee here in the first quarter. T. Martin to Peerless Price. Great first name because that was a peerless catch. All the way down to the 19-yard line. Watch this again. Peerless Price with one hand. That led to a TD and a two-point conversion. Ball's up 14-7. Second quarter, 3rd and 21. Martin forced to roll right. Throws on the run. Cedric Wilson. Touchdown. 21-7. Next Tennessee possession. It's going to be Sean Bryson. Had only 4 carries in the game. 2 of the 4 carries went for touchdowns. And this one is one of those 2 touchdowns. 58 yards in there. And Tennessee wins big, 59-21. So the Volunteers now 10-0 and now 7-0 in the SEC. Next Saturday, the Volunteers play at Vandy. They'll take on Arkansas or Mississippi State in the SEC title game on December 5th. In light of what happened last Sunday, Kentucky coach Hal Mumme didn't know what to expect, and it's clear Kentucky was flat.
It was a real tough week in all of our lives, and you know, it's just...
UCLA, Paul Hackett, Bob Polito, both assistants together at USC once, now face each other as head coaches. First quarter, Cade McNown, airing it out.
Too much air under that.
Danny Farmer, 43 yards. That would set up a touchdown. UCLA went up 7-3. Still in the first quarter. Carson Palmer's throw to R.J. Soward is complete, but Soward fumbles and UCLA recovers. UCLA would take advantage and go up 14-3. Second quarter, UCLA's up 14-10. Deshaun Foster, 65 yards, one of his 4 TDs in the game. That ties the school record. He was in the hospital just yesterday getting treatment for strep throat. Second quarter, USC plagued by turnovers all day. Palmer finds Larry Parker, who makes a nice catch, but fumbles again. 7 turnovers in the game by USC. Jason Stevens recovers for the Bruins. Brian Polly-Dixon dragging a stuffed Trojan. That's not nice, rubbing it in like that. Rubbing it in. Coach Toledo receives the Jim Murray Trophy in honor of the late Pulitzer Prize-winning sports writer for the LA Times, and UCLA wins it 34-17. Foster, the story, 109 yards on 15 carries. UCLA's beaten USC 8 straight times. Overall, UCLA has won 20 straight. That's the longest winning streak.
Out there, really, you know, I really didn't do too much spectacular. I was just running through the holes and everything. The O-line they were blocking great, and I'm just happy I had the opportunity to run behind them.
And perhaps USC's
is on. You know, with all due respect to Bama, Auburn, and Michigan, Ohio State, this is the most intense rivalry in college football. Nothing else is even close. Florida DB Tony George, one of 3 players ejected in the fight, but he's the only starter ejected in the fight. Opening drive, Florida ball, Doug Johnson, picked by Dexter Jackson. Jackson 34 yards for an apparent touchdown, but Florida State holding negates the play, one of 12 no penalties in the first half. Next Florida drive, Johnson getting his vibe on with Travis McGriff. McGriff, 13 catches, 222 yards last week. Today he became Florida's single-season record holder for receiving yards in a year. Third quarter, Florida State in the move. Outson to Peter Warwick. Warwick, the Biletnikoff finalist, smokes 4 Gators on his way to the house. Warwick blew up 8 catches, 119 yards, and Shorty wasn't done. The former high school quarterback on the reverse, just silk. 46 yards to a wide-open Ron Dugan. Warwick has said, I want the ball, but that's not a goal. Hey, if I have to block the whole game to win, that's what I'll do. Well, Peter Warwick blocked, caught, and he threw. Noles win it 23-12. They scored the final 17 points. FSU defense in the second half, they bigged up. They allowed the Gators just 64 yards and 2 first downs in the second half.
I'm in shock. Not that I didn't think I could do it, but, you know.
Title on the line, number 9, Arkansas at Mississippi State. Bulldogs are looking, and getting some love from Kelvin Love. Watch Kelvin Love stretches for the marker. It was his only catch of the day, and it was fat. Same drive, 4th and 15. Arkansas needing it. Matkin under pressure. Drops back. Kevin Cooper in the middle. Cooper, middle, money. Matkin, 16-31, 224 yards. He said later, I had made some bad throws and wanted to make it up to the guys.
Washington, cut, go. Oh.
And you can see just how tough the wrecking crew has been this season. Job. Get the first call of the day. Will it be the counter? Will it be a toss? Or will the Horns elect to loosen them up as we get set to go? Here's Rookie's first carry, stretches the D, battles for a yard loss. Throwing forward.
Well, you know, I'm here for one reason. That's to show my support for Ricky Williams. You know, I'm really proud of Ricky, the season he's had, the career he's had here at UT. So it doesn't matter. You know, I held that thing for 22 years. So, you know, eventually something like this will take place. And what a better guy for it to happen with. Ricky's a real class act both on and off the field.
Well, we know you want to get back to watch this play. Brent?
He needs only 40 yards now. Here he comes again, steps into the hole, breaks first down inside the 20-yard line for Ricky Williams. It came against the United States Naval Academy back in 1976 as Dorsett rips free and scores a touchdown on the play. And Archie Griffin's record fell that day. Now, 3rd down and 4 for Ricky Williams and the Texas Longhorns on the move. Edwards was shut out against Tulane yesterday. So Williams is the NCAA scoring leader at 16.2 points a game. And here he comes up just short. Now, if he can score twice today, he'd become the first man to lead in rushing and scoring in back-to-back seasons. He has carried 12 times here for 48 yards. Earl on the left, Tony on the right. They'd have been pretty good together, Dan. They'd have been kind of tough.
Oh, I would think. Looks like Earl may have got Tony that burnt orange shirt. What do you think? It's the other side of the ball that's key for San Diego. Can that great defense they have stop John Elway?
So Ricky Williams needs 15 yards. coming out from the 20-yard line. Here's the draw. Ricky battles his way for 4 yards. The kind of run, speaking of the NFL, the kind of run that will make him very big in the NFL. Dat Nguyen making the stop, and now he needs just 11 yards to eclipse Tony Dorsett and become the NCAA all-time leading rusher. Could be done now within 1 run. The wrecking crew trying to hold him to a 4-yard average here. Applewhite to throw it, snaps it off. McGarrity's got it, 40-yard line and down. First down, Texas. Down is the lead back for Ricky. Offsets it a little bit to the left. 11 yards shy of the record. Williams breaks a hole. Williams, hello record book. Ricky Williams runs to the Hall of Fame, cuts back. Ricky Williams, touchdown! 60 yards and the record is his. He does it in dramatic fashion. And a standing ovation for the king of the rushers. Mrs. Williams. He raised Ricky and a twin sister and another sister, a family of 3. She did it by herself in San Diego. And a young man who passed up the big bucks of the NFL for one more crack at the record, being embraced by Tony Dorsett on the sideline. He didn't just break it, ladies and gentlemen. He smashed it.
You know, Sandy has got to be the proudest mom in all of Texas right now, maybe the whole world. Ricky is such a wise young man. Told me that he knows that the record will be shown on a lot of TV shows, a lot of highlight programs. Man, what a highlight run.
So the gentleman with the soft voice and the sweet smile runs to immortality.
And don't forget the pierced tongue and the dreadlocks and the 4.3840 speed. Watch his buddy, Wayne McGarity, number 8, clear the last man out of his way. No way, Ricky Williams is going to be denied as he dives in for the score.
The Texas Longhorn with Ricky Williams, 14 carries for 112 yards. Jack Arute, that had to bring a tingle for Tony Dorsett, the way Ricky smashed it.
Brent, it was a glorious moment. Your feelings, Tony?
Well, you know, I'm very happy for Ricky. You know, I was sitting here on the side, standing here thinking, you know, when 22 years ago, when I broke the record, I broke it on the touchdown run. I said, wouldn't it be ironic if Ricky did the same thing? So I'm very happy. Couldn't happen for a better guy in a better way, man. What a run.
Now, after that touchdown, he came over here, he grabbed the ball. You had a chance to have a private moment with him. What did you say?
I just congratulate him, man. We just embraced each other. I'm just very happy. It's almost like it's my child, man. To be here to witness something like this, you know, this is history. The whole state of Texas has been looking for this to happen. And for us right here on UT, I mean, the people going crazy. I'm just glad I'm just being a small part of it, just to be here and witness it.
Brent, the eyes of the world are in Austin today.
And the records continue to tumble as Ricky Williams moved past Tony Dorsett. But look who he conquered along the way. Archie Griffin, 2 Heisman trophies. Herschel Walker, 1. Charles White, 1. Dorsett, 1. And Ricky Williams' next stop will be the New York Athletic Club, and he'll pick that trophy. And Sir is down at the 47-yard line.
And great run. Watch it go as he goes across the left side here. Following his fullback, Ricky Brown, breaking a tackle. The combination of power and speed. That's why he's the greatest of all time in college football. It's the 4th time he's gone over 100 yards in just 1 quarter this year.
His only weakness, ladies and gentlemen, as an athlete, he can't hit the curveball very well, we are told. 6,132 yards. as the records continue to fall. The ones he already holds. 72 career rushing touchdowns now. The overall point total. Yards in consecutive games. And the Aggies come out with a 3rd and 3.
Relation to Cade McNown. No, I might add. Almost there. And Randy. Back in the shotgun, and here we go. Close to being incomplete, and the Horns win it. The Horns hook their arch rival. Mack Brown turns the fortunes of the Horns around in his first year. They go unbeaten in Austin. And a stirring last-minute comeback